Warning. Everything you're about to hear is not canon to the Bacon and Eggs extended cinematic universe. Thank you.
Howdy, yolks, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And I'm Seamus Gorman.
And we're coming to you from your childhood.
Because we've got a special treat for you.
The third of 3 special treats.
To hop in your Ken Dream house
And get saved by the Claw.
And literally cry your eyes out.
because today we're bringing you
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3, our movie today, was released June 18th, 2010. I try to say June 6th because I forgot what 6 meant.
You just read a date
June
system
18th
in a British way or non-American
June 18th, 2010, which was 3,038 days ago, which seems like a long time. It was made on a $200 million budget, which is a lot more than the other ones, and it made $1.067 billion, which is a lot more than the other ones.
It's a bunch of money.
That
But it
like
did-
broke records, that film.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge, especially for an animated movie.
It was the fourth
did-
highest of all time, wasn't it, when it came out?
I have no idea. Probably.
I might
if you're
make that
saying
up.
that right now, I believe you.
I might have made it up, but if it's true, it's
Hey,
true.
just say it again. Everything you're about to hear is not canon. Anyway, it did
Bacon and
terrible, terrible with critics. Awful. Everyone hated it. It got a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Just awful. And an 89% audience rating. With a 92 on Metacritic, which is actually really high.
How'd the other two do on Metacritic?
This is,
80.
I think, Toy Story 2 was an 86. Hang on a second. I can figure this out real quick. Metacritic's a great website that definitely doesn't play ads out loud.
Does it? Is that what's happening right now?
Yes.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I've got an ad for Call of Duty Black Ops Battle Royale, because everything has to have Battle Royale now.
Yeah, that's
Toy
what
Story
Fortnite
1 was
did.
a 95. Toy Story 2 was an 80. They're written right below. I don't know why. I'm
The original Toy Story
88.
did insanely well then.
Yeah.
And then, so, okay, that's that's interesting.
What do you? What, I mean, well, real quick, what do you think of? You know what? Let's do the
Are
professional.
you okay
reviews.
over there?
I know.
Yeah,
I
don't
just
know what
kind of
happened
like
there. You just had like a stroke.
I broke a little bit. Yeah. I broke a little bit. Let's do the positive and negative review, then we'll do binary, and then I've got a discussion question.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so I have a positive review. This comes from Michael Rechshoffen from The Hollywood Reporter. And he says, Woody Buzz and Playmates make a thoroughly engaging, emotionally satisfying return.
Aww.
That was good. I liked it.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
It didn't say playtime again or something, but
No, but it said Playmates,
That's
which
close
I
enough.
thought was close enough.
I think that is
yeah.
close enough. I'm not disappointed.
Yeah.
That's code for
Fair
I am
enough.
severely disappointed.
You're about to be disappointed with what I have to say, Seamus, because I've got a negative review from Rotten Tomatoes for the first time in 3 weeks. This is from Armand White of the New York Press, and he says, "None of these digital cartoon characters reflect human experience. It's essentially a board game that only the brainwashed will buy into. Besides, Transformers 2 already explored the same plot to greater thrill and opulence."
Transformers 2, like Revenge of the Fallen or whatever?
Transformers 2, yep. Transformers 2. Let's just get it correct.
I would
Which
be
one?
shocked,
Yes, Revenge of
but
the
I've
Fallen.
seen the review before and have been disappointed.
Hang on 1 second. I've got a data point here. Oh, no, I don't, because Rotten Tomatoes is broken.
It's a 19.
I saw
Is it
that.
19?
Yeah.
I saw that review and I read it in a video, and my response was someone who says Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is a better explored story than Toy Story 3 is someone who doesn't have an opinion of value. And that's my way
I would
of
agree
viewing
with that.
19% critic rating, 19%. Average rating of a 3.9.
Out of 10.
Out of 10, yeah. 3.9 out of 10.
I take
That's crazy pants
God.
low. I remember Revenge of the Fallen. I remember it had like some obvious plot holes, but I also remember enjoying it decently.
I think it's bad.
It's definitely bad, but I have a hard time giving a movie that I enjoyed a rating under a 5.
Yeah, can't think of that many movies I've given a rating under 5.
I don't think I enjoyed this movie. I don't think I saw the ones after it. I think this is the last one I've seen.
No, I've seen the first 3.
I got sick of Transformers. It was just like,
Anyway, Ty, you said you have a discussion point. What is that discussion point? Let's discuss.
I want to just, I want to ask the question. Also, binary review, we're all in agreement. Everyone needs to see this.
yes.
I don't know, man. It's a 99. That kind of makes it a 0.
I was about to just
No.
like throw hands there, and then I was like, okay, he's joking. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm joking. Yes, it's a 1. You need to see Toy Story 3. I think I've made this point about all of them, but this is the most important one.
Yeah, I agree.
It definitely is. Because this spans Andy's whole life.
Yeah.
It's not just like a story. Like the other two are concise in good ways and they, explore like a situation and a lesson to be learned. But this is like you go from Andy as a 6-year-old or whatever to Andy at 17. And it's not just just tackling lessons for Woody, but it's lessons for Buzz and lessons for Jesse, and mostly lessons
so
for the
many
kids playing with
character
toys.
depth and stuff, like Woody going one way, rest of them going the other way.
Right.
It's so good.
It's truly amazing how they managed to keep all of the characters relevant and interesting while having so many existing characters and adding characters.
What they did so well is they got rid of the unimportant characters, excluding Bo Peep, who I don't know why they got rid of her, but like unresolved. Toy Story 4 still to come.
Well, so
Right.
in the first one, Bo Peep, I'm not crazy, right? Bo Peep is a lamp.
Yeah, something like that.
She's like part of a lamp.
Porcelain, is it? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Or have I made that word up?
Porcelain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fancy word for ceramic.
Yeah, I'd use that word more commonly. I just knew, I've read that word before and I'm like...
Well, it's not a fancy word for ceramic, it's like really fancy ceramic.
Okay, well, apparently she's porcelain. And that's like the theory that Isaac and I came up with before, that she got broken and the mom was like, oh, whoa, we can't have broken... like
a broken piece of pottery that's going to stab you.
So therefore...
I was just thinking like it was more reasonable for him to have moved on from a lamp than the rest of the toys.
100%.
Because to me in the first one it looked like she was part of like something on his nightstand, her and the sheep. So that's what I was thinking.
But then again, like Ham isn't a toy either, he's piggy bank.
Right. So like but she clearly came off of the lamp, but I think that was part of it.
Yeah.
And she probably got broken. And she is very clearly made out of not plastic.
But then again, Andy maybe doesn't break toys because like he kept his Slinky doll completely not even like twisted in the tiniest bit for how many years?
For like 12 years.
Like
That's impossible. I've never had a Slinky. I've had a bunch of Slinkies in my life. I've never had a Slinky last more than 12 days.
Yeah, if it lasts more than a week, you're a tidy person. You're not having
much
enough
care
fun
for your
if it lasts
Slinkies.
more than a week.
Well, because what happens, and it's a little bit different with Slinky dogs, because obviously they got a thing on either end. But the whole point of a Slinky is it's a spring that like rolls downstairs, right? But the problem is it does that one time, and then by the time it's gotten to the bottom of the stairs, it's bent in some fashion because wow, you just threw it down the stairs.
Right, it gained enough momentum doing that it's
right. It's
not
now
in good
useless.
shape.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that is definitely. If there's a plot hole here, I would call that a plot hole because that's impossible.
I just think Andy's very, very careful with his stuff.
That's true. That is true.
I mean, maybe,
And he does
but
call
ripped
himself
his...
Rusty in the third one. Like, but Woody's like, can you jump this fast thinking? He's like, I may be old, but I still got legs, or something like that.
Yeah.
Still got something.
It's something
spring.
like that, yeah.
Some spring-related joke.
Yeah.
So I'm just reading up on Bo Peep right now. She does make a cameo in the home videos.
Yeah, she does. But that's when he's a kid still, which is interesting.
Right.
It's almost as if like the voice actress was like, or they just didn't have a part for her. Or the voice actress was like, oh no, sorry, I can't do this one or something. I don't know.
Well, she would have just been like an effort to put in the movie.
Yeah, I don't see where she'd have come in. She'd have just been,
Because she doesn't go on
she'd have just been
adventures.
there. Yeah.
And like, I know if you watch Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 2 and Toy Story 3, it seems clear that like Jesse and Buzz are like a thing.
Yeah.
I know you've got
Toy
some
Story
thoughts
2,
on this.
it's first implemented. The
Right,
very
but
end,
even in-
'cause you know the whole meme of like when Buzz, they make am I allowed to say it, an erection joke when Jesse does something and Buzz's wings pop out?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a dirty joke that parents get. That's when Buzz first sees Jesse, really. And then it's just slowly, and then it's made very, very on the nose clear in Toy Story 3.
But it does seem a little bit in Toy Story 3 like there's a small, just I would say 2%, there was a chance it was going to go Jesse and Woody. And because there's like that scene where Woody shows up and Jesse like hugs the crap out of him while Spanish Buzz is there, or while...
And he goes, Elva Carol.
Yeah.
No,
That's
I
Spanish for
do
cowboy.
think it was purely friendship though, because like Woody says at the start about Bo Peep when Rex is like, we've lost a few. Woody's like, we've lost a few toys on the road. Rex, he's like, and he names a few, and then Rex is like, Bo Peep, and he's like, yeah, and Bo, like heartbroken in that moment. But yeah, it
Right.
makes sense because Andy's not going to be donating a lamp to a daycare, so I think they might have just had to cut her out because it just didn't make logical sense. But I don't think there was ever a time when I was like, oh, it's gonna be Woody and Jesse. I think people who think that it was going to be Woody and Jesse are purely haven't seen it in a very long time and kind of ignorant to the fact and see cowboy, that cowgirl even. Sorry.
Well, if you guys feel strongly about Woody and Jesse not being a couple, you can go to www.teespring.com/stores/Seamus Gorman and buy a t-shirt that says Woody and Jesse are not a couple.
You can do that.
You can also see a video of Seamus and his girlfriend dressing up as Woody and Jesse to further
I think
complicate
it's so
things.
weird. I think it's so weird that you guys aren't going. I mean, I'm so excited about your actual Halloween costume.
Yeah.
But I can't believe you're not going as Jesse and Buzz.
She would kill me. She hate that video. I'm only saying this because I know she's not going to be listening to this podcast right now. She hates it. Apparently, like, just it gets brought up way too much. She just gets roasted about it in everyday life. So like anytime it gets brought up, I'm like, and she's around, I'm like, oh.
Don't do it.
Please stop talking. Find a happy place. Find a happy place. Find a happy place.
So I just don't bring the idea of us doing that costume up for Halloween, but I'm excited for Halloween. And the video I post for Halloween will be out before this podcast comes out. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Halloween will be a thing of the past.
yeah.
Thanksgiving will be next week.
Sorry?
Thanksgiving. I'm excited to eat the turkey.
I
Oh my
still-
God, next
Okay,
week is
I have a
Thanksgiving.
question about Thanksgiving, okay?
Yeah.
Because we don't
Yeah, what's
celebrate
up?
it, obviously, because it's like, I don't even know what the holiday is. You eat turkey at Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
We eat turkey at Christmas.
We do that as well.
Oh, so why is Thanksgiving the big turkey holiday? I never got it. I was like, oh, do we
Because
not
you
eat turkey at
only
Christmas?
eat turkey
Oh, I
at
see.
Christmas or at Thanksgiving. You eat plenty of
Yeah.
things at turkey is like roasting a turkey is like a feast.
Okay.
Because
At
at least
Christmas,
I
you eat a ham, right?
Yeah.
don't. I mean, we do ham and
We do
turkey for
Brussels
Thanksgiving
sprouts.
and
Is that a big thing
Christmas.
there?
I knew you did Brussels
did-
sprouts for Thanksgiving. Actually, it's
No,
not a
not
big
for
Thanksgiving
I
thing.
meant for Christmas.
Well, for Christmas, yeah.
I'm actually really
We
excited
actually-
for Christmas. This is like the next big holiday in like 'cause Halloween isn't a big
Oh, because
thing.
Halloween's not real.
So, yeah, we basically celebrate Christmas and Easter, and Christmas is so much bigger. Christmas is like the only big holiday here. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, we get time off for Easter, but oh my god, I just dropped my phone on the floor. Yeah, Christmas is like the next big holiday. Really, I'm excited for it. You just got me excited for it. I don't know what you said, but I was just like, oh, I'm excited for the food.
So we had what we thought was an American Thanksgiving dinner in England when we were there in London.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was turkey and Brussels sprouts and French fries.
And gravy and champagne and
We did have champagne. That was the thing.
I remember there was an American girl in my school who took a day off on Thanksgiving. Everyone was like, what?
Yeah,
yeah, that would be. I would do that too if
You
I
would.
lived
It was
there.
it was New Year's Eve, right? And we were about to go do the thing. We stood out on the bridge and sang "Auld Lang Syne," drinking champagne with the Brits. And it appears this restaurant we went to is no longer open, or this pub. It's called the Pimlico Beer Garden on Vauxhall Bridge Road.
Oh, okay. I know
Yeah,
Vauxhall.
like right near the bridge, whatever that bridge is. I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's Vauxhall Bridge.
I think
but-
I know the area.
Yeah, it was like half a mile down the road from our hotel.
I know Vauxhall because I've been clubbing there a few times, though.
Yeah.
Like, I
Clubbing?
haven't
We
been...
didn't manage to find the clubs.
Were you 17 at the
Everything
time?
was we were 18.
Oh,
or
you'd have
19.
been able to get in. I was about to say, like, if you were 17, you'd have struggled, but yeah, no.
And this place was the most wild restaurant I've ever been to. Like, first of all, nobody spoke a word of English, and everybody spoke Portuguese.
Oh, that's weird.
But it was delicious. It was
lovely.
delicious. It was just a weird place we went.
If you
And
want good Portuguese food in England, you go to Nando's.
You know-
Have you heard of Nando's?
I have heard of Nando's.
You're
I've
very
heard of
familiar with
Nando's, I don't.
everything. I showed your
Me?
brothers Nando's while they were here last year.
Yeah,
Or
Nando's is
earlier
in
this
DC
year,
and I really
Tyler,
wanna go.
And they had no idea what it was. It's in DC.
Yeah.
There's one closer than that.
I didn't know
I
it was
don't
in
think so.
America at all. Oh, I should have gone
There's
while
one of the-
I was in DC.
I mean, I guess this is Woodbridge, but that's
Well, okay, but like that is the only place in America they have them is in like the DC metro area.
Okay. No, it's definitely
Yeah.
worth going. I'd say it's one of my favorite places.
Yeah, you get peri peri chicken. I am familiar with everything.
You are. You really are. I've never seen such a just I don't know culturally aware person.
Well, one of the British people that I listen to whose music has an entire song about Nando's. Actually, like three of them. He's a guy called Beans on Toast.
That does sound like a very British artist to put
Yeah.
Nando's in a song.
Yeah, he's got several.
Anyway, Tyler, you had a discussion you wanted to have, and we've just driven
Yes.
off
Oh
topic.
yeah, we never finished that. We never
as
even
we
started.
always drift. Yeah,
We
that was the
stayed
best.
on Toy Story with that drift though. Well, until we got to talking about London and Thanksgiving.
And Nando's.
So my question is, we sort of answered it, but where I just want to go ahead and have the conversation. Where does it rank within Toy Story? Is it, I think, undeniably better than the first, but is it better than the second?
In my opinion, yeah, I'd say it's the best one.
What do you think, Ethan?
Man, that's a tough one.
Did you guys watch it yesterday?
We watched it today.
We watched it this
I watched it
morning.
today.
this morning. Yeah. Whew.
Because I haven't
That's
actually
tough.
watched them all on the bounce and all that. Usually when I watch them like that.
I actually agree with you, Seamus. I thought I wasn't going to. I thought I was going to say the second one was the best. And the second one was the only one where I was watching it and there was a time where I had more than one tear streaming down my face.
Is that
But I did
the
cry
Jessie
more
scene?
than once. Yeah, the Jessie scene. But I did cry more than once watching Toy Story 3.
Yeah, that end scene really just
Again,
it's almost cheating.
My stance is the Andy giving the toys away is sadder than the incineration
Oh yeah, you're
scene.
absolutely right. right. I did not see it until today, but you are absolutely right.
I completely I stand by that. That is my truth.
Well, it's even got a better ending because the incinerator scene actually has the way that ends was actually the only time in the whole movie I was not satisfied.
I still remember going to see it for the first time, the incinerator scene, because I watched this in America the first time, and
right.
That's not got any relevance to the story. I just wanted to put that out there. Traveling to see films
right.
for life. But I remember seeing that. Obviously, when I was 12, I knew they were going to get out of the situation. I wasn't young enough to be oh my god, what's gonna happen? I knew they were gonna get out of the situation, but I absolutely had no idea how they were going to get out of the situation the first time I watched it. I vividly remember sitting in the cinema wait, how are they actually gonna get out of this? What are they gonna do? And then the claw comes in and I'm oh, the aliens got away and yeah.
That would have been a friggin' obviously Pixar would not have done that, but can you imagine if Pixar just burned all the toys?
Could you imagine? I knew they weren't going to. It's not Infinity War, but
it's not Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Because Infinity War, half of them would survive.
Yeah, 50% should.
Yeah.
Anakin did fall in the lava.
But it's kind of plot convenience. There's every one of the Toy Story films has that weird bit of that shouldn't really be able to happen. You've got the toys driving a car in the first one. In the second one, I mean, you have Buzz being able to fly, and you just have stuff like that in all of them. And in this one, I think the big one that you're that shouldn't really be able to happen is them, what's it called? Getting using the claw machine. And
well, I don't even know that that's impossible. I think what's so dissatisfying to me is that it's the aliens. Is they're kind of a fan service. They're kind of like Boba Fett, right? They don't have much role.
I think.
Yeah, they don't have much role in the movies, but the fans really liked them.
Yeah.
And I was just why these characters? I get it. They set it up so that it could happen.
I'm not that big a fan of the aliens. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion, but I'd say they're my least favorite toys.
I would agree.
I
would agree with that.
I laughed though when they first came in this movie, and you could tell that Mr. Potato Head was just done with them because they'd been saying that "You saved our lives, we are eternally grateful" line for a decade
years.
at that point. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so he's kind of done with the whole situation. You
Yeah.
can very much tell.
It's great though. Mr. Potato Head's very well done.
Right, and then he you could see at the end he almost adopts the peas as well.
Yeah.
He loves being a daddy.
He does.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the stages, isn't it? It's it starts with him alone, then Andy gets a Mrs. Potato Head at the end of Toy Story 2, because that's what he wanted. He wanted a Mrs. Potato Head, and then at the end of Toy Story 2, he becomes a dad.
Right.
So it's kind of they're just going through stages, but in a very weird way.
Yeah, it's an interesting character arc for
really
sure.
Is. He's a well done character, and I learned something about him a few months ago that at the very start of the first film when he arranges the first film when he arranges his stuff the items on his face in a weird fashion, and then goes to Ham.
Yes.
Hey Ham, I'm Picasso. Sorry for the terrible American accent. and then Ham goes, I don't get it. And then he goes, you uncultured swine, and then walks by, and then there's the hockey puck standing there, and he's like, what are you looking at, you hockey puck? Apparently that's what the actor used to do on his stand-up.
That was a Don Rickles catchphrase.
Yeah, and I didn't know that.
And so
it
was
really
actually
that's a nice tribute for them to put in.
Oh yeah, every time that line happens, my mom cracks up, and I was just like, "What is this about?" And she explained that to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's funny." I was like, "Yeah, he's saying that to a hockey puck."
I didn't get it, and I made a joke about not getting it. I was like, "Does anyone understand this?" Because I thought this was just a completely random joke they'd thrown in the film, and then people explained it in my comments section of the video. So I was like, "Oh, I'm ignorant."
That's exactly what you are, Seamus. You are wrong, and you should feel bad about it. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Someone said that people take offense when you make a comment like that. There was at least one person who was like, "You're too young to understand the joke, you ignorant." I don't know.
Right, and it's it's a movie for kids. I remember, I didn't know that piece of information, but I also, like you, Seamus, during the first one, I was like, why is there a hockey puck?
Yeah.
And why does it have, arms and legs?
I made a full video, how can this come to life? Because, the Etch-a-Sketches can walk about in those films, and it's why are they able to come to life? What's the limit on being able to come to life? Why can't lamps jump about and,
Boop, Bo Peep.
But, why couldn't the Luxo lamp just jump about in the first film? Because
It doesn't play with the Luxo lamp. It's the Pixar theory, man. The affection of the people is what gives them
I think I
life.
made like 2 straight videos on it. But like, so therefore, if someone showed enough affection to like a light bulb, could that light bulb theoretically roll around?
I guess so.
I get if they scream at it as well is the other theory, right?
Yeah.
If they're afraid of it, that's how teachers stay alive, because I scream at them because I'm afraid. It's been relatable high school content with Tyler.
Is that, when were you last in high school?
A while ago.
A while,
Nearly 10
2011,
Oh, not quite.
7 years
7 years.
was when I graduated. 7.5.
I was in, well, we don't call it high school, but I was in secondary school more recently.
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago.
It's actually my 3rd year not being back. Kind of crazy time.
Yeah. Are you feeling good? Does
I
time start
like
moving
it.
faster?
I'm still the only person. Well, kind of. Like some people like moved on to like work for their parents and stuff, but I feel like I'm the only person who's like fully made a career for myself since I finished school. Like most of the people
In the whole world?
No, from my year at school. Most
Oh,
of them
okay.
are still at uni, going into their final year.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't use
And
the word uni.
you got it made. You don't have all these student loans.
Yeah,
You've got.
I love that. I didn't realize how bad it was.
Student loans
and then
don't
my
exist in
sister's
Europe.
going off, and I'm like, wow, I've dodged a bullet there, haven't I?
Yeah, you have.
I've missed a lot though, in the sense of going to uni, but yeah.
Yeah, my student loans aren't even bad, and I spend like $300 a month on, I mean, what is essentially the most valuable thing on my resume, but
Yeah.
also something I'm no longer doing.
For sure. But I think, you've had quite the experiences, Seamus. I think you've...
Yeah, I think I've had a great time.
Yeah, most people don't have a career where they can, make it on their own by age 20.
Yeah. I'm still blown away, really. I think I got super lucky,
Well,
really. No,
'cause you
honestly,
make
when I
excellent
look back at the old videos that first went viral for me, I'm honestly like, why did this go viral and not like why did it go so viral? Because like I look at other people who like blow up on YouTube. And because my first big video was Huabu's parent, and a lot of people just credit it to like, oh well, Super Carlin Brothers shouted you out, but I had 600,000 views on that video and 30,000 subscribers before they even mentioned it. So
Right.
I do feel like I get some credit for doing quite a bit on my own. But I remember like I've seen a lot of people blow up and like get their first video to 100,000 views. And they got like 1,000 subs from it. My first 100,000 views, I got 10,000 subs from that, and I still don't know how I did. I got 1 in 10 people to subscribe to me, and I was kind of like, what am I doing right?
I have no idea, but if you figure it out, let us know.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
we
seriously.
got shouted out by Super Carlin
Like-
Brothers, and we got like 500 subscribers. So
Well, I don't know. I that's why I look back at that video. I'm like, I wouldn't have subscribed to myself with that video. But apparently, it must have been good. Maybe for its time. I don't know. Has content aged since then?
Well, I mean, when eventually they write a book about the 2000s, or at least the first 100 years of the 2000s, the chapter for 2010 will just be called, "Why did this go viral?"
Yeah. Like, oh, so
Charlie
many
bit
things.
me.
Like,
That was
with-
before
with the word
2010,
"this" in
surely.
italics.
Have you seen them? Like, they'd made a video like on a 10-year anniversary like a few years ago.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That makes me feel
So
old.
weird. Remember that was like.
Do you know those kids? They're English.
No, I don't. I didn't know they were English, but now I think about it, it's very obvious that they are because
It's incredibly
Charlie
obvious.
bit me.
Yeah,
Charlie bit
but
me.
I've never stopped to think about it. Like you don't
He
hear
bit
the
my finger.
You don't hear an American accent and think, oh, they're American. You think.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, but
Oh, do you?
but America is very
Yeah.
big,
Yeah,
right?
I just
they're-
hear the accent, so that sounds normal. I don't know. I've never even clocked it. But yeah,
Right.
they are.
Can you do it? Can you do like a few sentences of an American accent? Can I get you like something to read or something?
Okay, yeah, I can try. I'm not very good at
Okay,
it.
let me.
The only thing I used to do was, I used to do this in my videos. Mr. Scamander, do you know anything about the wizarding community here in America? I used to say that all the time. It's just like one of those weird movie quotes that gets stuck in your head. But I remember I said it in a video before. Someone was like, can you do an American accent? I did it. And then all the comments were like, that was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. And I was like, oh, sorry.
What I hear a lot, and especially when they put Benedict Cumberbatch in as Doctor Strange originally, is that the R's are very hard for you guys.
The R's.
In our words, yeah.
Okay.
Like, the R's at the end of words specifically.
I don't know why
'cause
Benedict
you got-
Cumberbatch, he can do any accent though. The guy's like...
But he has trouble with American.
impressionist, does
When he did Doctor Strange is terrible. His accent to that is terrible. He's like, Dr. Palmer.
I never even
And he's just-
realized it was terrible.
Yeah, and he's just like, it's like somebody was listening to his dialect coach was listening to him, was just like, okay, you got to really hit the R there. And he was like, Palmer.
There's something about Doctor
Palmer.
Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, that really reminds me of my teachers from school. The way he like speaks and like just carries himself as a person. That's what everyone's gonna be like, whoa, I want to go to your school, but like that's kind of what my teachers at school were like. Him kind of. They spoke like that. And I don't know. Every time I'm like, oh, sorry, sir.
Oh,
I had an English teacher in high school that was from England. He moved to the States when he was like 15 or 16, and he would slip into it occasionally, and there would be certain words where it would come out in the accent because he'd lost the accent by then.
Okay, yeah.
Almost entirely. And I think that was partially intentional, but there was definitely times where he'd slip into it and say words really funny. People would be like, what did you just say?
Wait, so I've got something to read here.
Oh.
You guys want me to read?
Yeah.
You get bonus
how do
points
I,
if you can.
How do I access it?
I think if on the bottom left of your Skype, there should be like a little chat window,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
it's different
So
on all
what kind of
versions
accent
Skype.
am I going for? Am I going for...
Just any American accent, and I will give you bonus points if you can tell me who said this.
I'm trying to read it, see if I can tell, but I can't.
Mr. Scamander.
Okay, so wait, can you guys say something? I'm gonna try and pick up one of your accents.
I would like a
I would
hamburger.
like a hamburger, please. We do have a lot in common. The same earth, the same air, the same sky. Maybe if we started looking at what's the same instead of what's different. Well, who knows? I don't know what that became.
That was pretty good.
You did the exact thing that every British person trying to speak with an American accent does and goes, what do people from New York sound like?
Yeah.
I wouldn't think New York's like my go-to American accent. They're like violent.
That's wild, because
in
that's what
the
you
way I
just
think
did,
of
was
it.
like...
They're like
Yeah, you were like the same air, the same sky.
I didn't mean to say New Yorkers are violent. I just picture them like saying like aggressive stuff, like because aren't they associated with muggers and stuff in New York? That's what I think of at least.
New York is the London of America.
Any film based in New York, there's some crime going on. Like
Well, having been from having been to New York.
Yeah, I have.
New York is the London of the U.S.
It is 100%. It reminds me of home.
Yeah, it's like we have the same. I mean, the neighborhoods are named in Manhattan are named the same.
Brooklyn.
We
I
have
know
like
this,
Chelsea
I know
and
this.
Soho and
Manhattan, Brooklyn. No, I don't know anymore. I was doing well though.
Queens.
The
New
boroughs?
Jersey, is that one of them? No, that's a state.
no, it's the boroughs of New York are Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Queens, and
Queens. That's from Spider-Man.
Staten Island.
I
Is
know
that a
them
borough?
from How I Met Your Mother because that's where my knowledge of New York comes from.
There are worse places to get it. Anyway, Mewtwo said that. It's from the first Pokemon movie.
I knew that because there's weird things of like Mewtwo's quotes from the Pokemon movies. And they put them in, but they like put them over like a Bible verse or something, pretend them to be a Bible verse, and then someone's like,
Right.
"Wow, that's like really humbling," and then they're like, "That was actually Mewtwo," and it was like, "What?"
He's got a few of those where he says like the other one is I can't see if I can find it. That might be the one. I don't know.
There are a few though. I've seen a few. 'Cause that was like a big joke.
There it is. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant.
That's it.
It is what you do with the gift of life that determines who you are.
Yeah, like the most profound quote to come out in a generation. And everybody's attributing it to like these crazy, like Martin Luther King or stuff like that, and it's Mewtwo.
Is it true most Americans don't know who Martin Luther is? Like not Martin Luther King, but Martin Luther himself. That Martin
No,
Luther
he was
King
the founder of the Lutheran Church. He nailed the 99
You know
Theses to the door.
everything, Ethan.
95. But I would say
95,
you are
whatever.
correct that most Americans don't know that.
Because like I would say Martin Luther as in referring to the Reformation, and an American would be like,
I feel like that was hammered. That was hammered home in every history class I had.
"Oh, was it?" Like
Yeah, and some of my literature classes.
Cause,
Like
yeah.
I've read the 95 Theses.
Because I've learned about Martin Luther at school, but I never learned about Martin Luther King. Because I don't really think that's that relevant to English history.
It is like
kind
a
of rare. It's like, I
weird-
don't know, we just didn't learn about American history unless you chose to.
It is like a weird thing in the States because it's like Martin Luther King, in terms of recent history,
Oh, yeah.
may as well, like that's the same kind of Reformation, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's just radical new thinking that is, to a lot of people, a good, like, even to the Catholics, I would say that the Protestant Reformation, in the end, was a good
Oh yeah, it's
thing.
beneficial for everyone.
Oh, all press is good press. At the end of the day,
Very
it got
weird
more.
way of thinking of it. But
Well, no, but
okay.
it's true because whether or not they ended up being Catholic at the end, which to me as a Catholic matters literally 0%.
It got them to
They ended
change
up-
their ways, but I don't
Right,
know
they
why
ended
we're
up-
talking about the Catholic churches.
No, but they ended up being Christians at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of which sect or division of Christianity they founded, it's, they ended up still believing in Christ.
Yeah.
But we had the same problem. See, like in America, we also have to learn about George Washington and George Washington Carver, who invented peanut butter.
Yeah, one George
which-
Washington invented America, the other one invented peanut butter.
Invented.
Well,
America.
it wasn't just peanut butter. It was like 100
It
different
was like
uses
the
for
uses
peanuts.
for the peanuts.
So
yeah.
we were talking about Hamilton earlier, right? And because I was watching Hamilton, and because there's the whole thing of George Washington and like how like the King of England was like, well, there's no way you're gonna succeed as a nation, like, and then George Washington, like the people just stopped wanting him, and he was like, what are you gonna do now? And then they elected another guy, and he was like, what are you doing? But like I remember like, there's this big thing, like when we were watching him, everyone's favorite character is the king. I've forgotten what king it is. You guys will know.
Oh, I won't. Henry VIII?
No,
George the Second.
might be, but like everyone in England when we watched it, whoever the king of England is everyone's favorite character. He has hilarious, but
George the Third.
George III.
I was so close.
He's made to be a fool.
Well, he is English,
Yeah,
so.
he was English. Henry VIII. When would he have? When was George III? When was America discovered or created?
Henry VIII was like the 1500s,
Yeah.
right?
This would have been 1776
Okay,
or
so
around
one of
there.
his descendants.
I also know what Henry VIII did. They taught us that in school too.
Did they?
Yeah.
You could do a good Henry VIII cosplay, even.
I can actually. I'm looking at a picture of him right now. Yes, I could. You're exactly right.
Isn't he the one that chopped the heads off?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
beheaded his wives and.
Yep.
Isn't that the names of the dolls in Toy Story 1, Marie and Antoinette?
Marie Antoinette was not beheaded by Henry VIII.
But she was beheaded.
We've got Anne Boleyn,
Yes.
Jane Seymour. That was one who liked though.
Catherine of Aragon.
Catherine of Aragon. There's another Catherine. There's another.
Does she have a dragon?
No,
Yeah.
A-R-A-G-O-N.
But he's the one who started the Church of England because he was.
Yeah,
Anglicans.
the Church of England. Yeah.
People make memes about. I don't know if this is a thing in America. People make memes about history.
Oh yeah.
And they
yeah,
get, like,
that's what Hamilton is.
But there's this meme and it's like Henry VIII goes to the Pope. He's like I want to get a divorce, and the Pope's like, I can't let you do that. And then he's like well, I want to get a divorce. And then he's like, what are you gonna do? Make your own religion or something? And then it's Henry VIII like.
we may not get that exact meme, but we definitely get historical memes like that.
It's honestly one of my favorite genres.
There's one Tumblr account that just posts pictures of George and Martha Washington with ridiculous captions on them. Why are you waving?
Yes.
I was raving at Emily.
Oh, hi Emily. I can't see you, but
She's here. She's that way.
gotcha. But yeah, so it's just ridiculous captions like. Anyway, here's Wonderwall of George Washington holding like a flute of all these paintings.
Love that.
And there's a whole, if you look at all of them, because it's the same account that posts all of them, if you look at all of them, there's like this whole interlying story about George and Martha having ghost children. It's just really hilarious meme work.
That's my jacket. Bye.
Emily's leaving. Is this going to be left in the podcast?
No.
Probably not. No. She's not leaving me. She's leaving.
Oh, I was like, that's big news.
Well, because the problem whenever Emily comes on the podcast is she doesn't get close enough to the microphone when she says things to have it pick up.
Oh, I see.
So the thing we do to cut out all the noise just gets rid of her parts of saying things.
So it's just me being
So
like,
it's just you being
hey,
like,
what's up?
Hey, no, yes, maybe. Hold on, 1 second. Mute.
Classy. There's Ethan's chair right behind me. This is good podcasting.
Talking about the kings of England here.
And this is Tyler's chair.
I could name a lot more kings of England than I could presidents of America.
I could probably name more
I'd
presidents.
hope so. There are more kings to know.
Is the next in line for the throne going to be a king or a queen or a pair?
Next
King.
one are gonna be
King.
kings, I
King
think.
George the Sixth?
Charles, but
Charles.
yeah, Charles is
No,
next.
no. I'm talking about Will's baby.
Oh yeah, that's George. Yeah,
Because Charles is never going to get the throne.
Charles is next.
Yeah,
Unless
but
unless
he's
his
gonna
mum
die
outlives him.
before. Yeah,
You think that's
he's
gonna
gonna die
happen?
before Elizabeth? Absolutely.
I think if you ask the country of England, most of us hope so.
she
Like,
She will stay alive out of spite.
I don't think it's the country that dislikes Charles. The Queen doesn't dislike her own son. Like,
No, I just not out of spite, but out of like, you're gonna take this crown when you pry it from my cold dead hands.
She's
she's nearly the longest reigning monarch of all time. So like,
She's a
she better
she's
get
a
that
bit of
far.
a yeah. We
Her mum
make
lived to
jokes about that over
101,
here.
So she's still got time if her mum lived to 101.
But no, so it'll end up being Will's kid.
Yeah, Will's still the heir to the throne after Charles, and then it's George.
Oh, for some reason I thought Will couldn't take it.
No, you're incorrect.
Didn't he like marry a
Because
wouldn't it go-
Diana or whatever?
Charles, but Charles,
goes to-
I can't keep up with
Okay,
this.
so
Charles
the
married
situation is, if you let me
Yeah,
explain.
no, that's why she hates Charles, right? Because Charles married Diana. She had Diana killed.
Well, okay, that is a statement to make that isn't entirely true.
That is the prevailing
slightest.
conspiracy theory.
That is a theory.
That is the conspiracy.
Seamus is looking right at the camera. He's like, I do not condone these statements.
That is the prevailing conspiracy theory here in the States.
Is
that
it?
Charles killed, or not Charles, that Queen Elizabeth had Diana killed.
Okay, so
Like Diana was to Americans as like Steve Irwin was to Americans. She was a national treasure.
Yeah.
yeah, well, okay,
like-
so Charles married Diana, right? And then they got divorced. And then Charles married a divorced woman being Camilla. But he had his kids with Diana first.
Camilla.
And then Diana got into a relationship with someone else. This is where the conspiracy comes in, because the person she got into a relationship wasn't white. And then she got killed off. But she got in a car crash and died.
Right, because she did a thing with a
But either way,
person of color.
Either way, yeah, because apparently they didn't want a person of color making it into the royal family. But I don't think that's true in the slightest, to be honest.
Well, that's, yeah, like I said, that's the
they
prevailing
just
theory.
had a like black person marry into the royal family. So
Yeah, and
did?
did you see the look that they gave her?
Wait, who's black?
Meghan Markle from Suits.
Meghan Markle's black?
She's half black.
That rounds up.
Either way.
She's as black as Obama.
Either way, the rule was before King Charles that you couldn't marry a divorced woman and become the king and let that divorced woman be the queen. Someone who was married before you can't be the queen. And for that exact reason, Edward VIII wasn't allowed to become the king. He abdicated because he wanted to marry someone who was divorced. He abdicated and his son took the throne. But they changed the rules because they were like, well, this is a backwards rule. We're gonna let Charles be king despite the fact he's with a divorced woman. And despite the fact the rule kind of it makes sense because why are you gonna judge someone for getting divorced? No one wants them to be
if
king.
your state religion was created because of people wanting to get divorced.
Yeah, no one wants him to be king for that exact reason. So I don't know.
Yeah, but how does it work with the kids? From the previous marriage,
Well,
are they
William
step
and Harry.
royal? Wait, so they're not
I
royals?
don't. No, they are.
No, William and Harry are Charles's
They're Charles's kids.
children.
I don't think Charles and Camilla had any kids together.
But if they did, would they be step?
Good question, but they're not going
Step
to.
royals?
They're not going.
I don't
to.
know how that works.
Camilla.
That would have created a complication, but it didn't happen. So
Right, so yeah, Will and Harry are...
well, now Harry's 6th in line or something. He's a mile.
Yeah, because Will has
Are you
11
more of a
kids.
Will or a Harry?
What?
Are you more of a Will or a Harry?
Am I? I'd say I'm more of a Will.
Seamus looks like Will.
Do I? I'm not bold, am I? Really?
No,
Scalp check,
but-
guys.
No, Seamus, you're definitely not bald. You have thicker hair than
But
anyone I know.
You look a lot more like Will and you look like Harry.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
The
actually.
Will and Harry are the two models of how British people look.
Yeah.
Like normal British
One
people.
of you made a really good joke about British people having bad teeth on your Instagram page, which you can follow at Bacon and Eggs Podcast. About Venom and US and then Venom UK and Venom US.
I thought that was
I thought
hilarious.
that was hilarious.
Good, I'm glad. I didn't get any angry British people on that one, so I
No,
felt...
because that's a British people joke.
Yeah,
That's
it is
a
a
thing they make about themselves.
Yeah.
That's why I had
You have
braces.
if I go to the UK and just open up shop and tell people I'm an orthodontist, will I or will I not get clients?
You will. Oh, it's way too crowded. Yeah. But then again, the orthodontist is on the NHS, so you'd have to be government endorsed.
I mean, who's my competition in the UK?
Lots
Nobody.
of
So,
orthodontists.
I've seen teeth before. I think I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you gotta get a shop on Harley Street or whatever and hang a shingle.
Those are a lot of weird words to me. I did buy a roof today, though, so...
It's a Sherlock Holmes thing.
Ah.
Talk about. There's some road where all the doctors
Seamus.
and lawyers have their
Seamus,
businesses.
is the reason we know Doctor Strange's address because he's also Sherlock Holmes.
What?
So in Doctor Strange, they make a point to tell you what the address of the Sanctum Sanctorum is or whatever.
Hey, I didn't know that. I haven't seen the films since it came out. Didn't want Doctor Strange.
And it sounds like Baker Street.
Does it?
No, I'm pretty sure that predates.
Baker Street.
It's 177A
Baker
Bleecker Street.
The Baker Street. Baker Street. The
That's Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes. You know, I always get it confused with Pudding Lane because Pudding Lane's a historically meaningful British London street where the Great Fire.
Why
of
are you
London
smiling like that? You look like
I was
it's
about
like...
to sneeze and I was like, trying to hold it
it's
in.
you were like, it's kind of like Pudding Lane, and you gave us the smile, and I was like, is that where kids go to make out? What is Pudding Lane?
No, that's
a
where
snog?
the Great Fire of London started.
So it
So it is where kids go to make out.
It first appeared with Doctor Strange in his debut, Strange Tales number 110, July 1963.
Wow, that's old.
Right, but is the reason it's in the movie because he's also Sherlock?
I don't know. They probably have.
I don't
they
think
probably
so.
do want to make references to that. They do.
I mean,
make
it's
a reference to
it's
don't
possible,
they?
but it seems like it is a directly said thing. It's the address is known.
Wait, is there a reference to it, or is it a joke that there wasn't a reference to it? That someone was meant to say no, Sherlock. I just censored myself, by the way.
I'm proud of you for that.
To
There was somebody said that when they're in Infinity War, when Stark says, "Do you concur?" That's a Sherlock reference, but it's definitely a Catch Me If You Can reference.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah, because Tony Stark keeps making movie quote references at Doctor Strange.
One of my favorite scenes in Infinity War is when what's it called Peter Quill goes to makes a reference about what film?
Footloose.
Yeah, and then says, and then Peter Parker, also Peter, knows the film. And he says, "Is it still the best film ever?" And then he's like, "It never was."
You ever heard that? See that really old movie, The Empire Strikes Back?
I love that. It's it's fully taking the mick though, because I think I'm older than Spider-Man's meant to be, but I'm younger than Tom Holland, and no one my age would ever call it an old movie.
I think they would.
they?
I would call Empire Strikes Back an old
Or would
movie.
you?
He's also
Yeah.
supposed to be 16 or 17.
Yeah, he's meant to be 16.
He's supposed to be yeah.
So that's 4 whole years younger than you.
Yeah, but Tom Holland's 22.
Yeah, which is 3 whole years younger than me.
2 whole years older than me.
Do you know Tom Holland?
Yeah, Yeah, very well. I no, the only you, occasionally when you're in London, you might see an actor, or like my mum once saw someone from Queen. What's the guy called?
Brian May.
Brian May, that's the one. In like London, and my friend was working at a veterinary pharmacy. He's gonna be a vet, and he was working at a pharmacy one summer as like internship. And Daisy.
Don't you mean a chemist?
It could mean a chemist. I don't know. What's her name? Daisy Ridley. I thought she had a middle name for some
from
reason.
Star Wars.
Yeah, walked in to get some like injections because she was going abroad. Obviously, somewhere
For
to
Star
film
Wars.
Star Wars. Yeah.
I loved, speaking of you and Daisy Ridley and Star Wars, the day on Instagram where you were like, you know that island where Luke was on that's supposed to be unfindable? It's right there. I found it.
I love that.
That is like top moment of my life.
Yeah, it's in Ireland. But we didn't get a boat out to it that day. I wish we did. That would have been so good for I wasn't vlogging then, but that would be good for a vlog content.
But you can just go back.
Yeah, I can. I can just go to Kerry again.
You'll be there in like a week.
Will I? I'm in a completely separate country in a week.
Isn't that in Ireland?
I'll be back in London this time next week.
Okay, well, whatever. You're going to be there in 2 days.
Yeah, 2 days.
Didn't you just say you were in Ireland when you...
Yeah, it's in the Republic of Ireland, not Northern Ireland. It's on the complete opposite end of the country. But then again, for you guys, that's like the distance from like one end of, like from DC to Roanoke.
Right, like that is... if there was any like Star Wars monument or filming site within a 3-hour drive, I would have been there.
Yeah. No, I don't know how long the drive is actually from Kerry, Belfast. I'm going to find that out for you right now.
So Belfast is in England?
No, it's in Northern Ireland.
Ireland? Whatever.
It's in the United Kingdom.
United Kingdom.
The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So it is not in Great Britain. It is in the United Kingdom.
Okay, let's see. The distance is a 5-hour drive.
Oh, that's a drive. That's like from one side of
287
Virginia to
miles.
most of the other side of Virginia.
287 miles. So about
287 miles taking 5 hours is ridiculous.
Is it?
Yeah, get
you
better
have
roads.
fast road. Yeah, well, the roads are it's all countryside lanes to get.
Yeah, that's 3.5 hours here.
Yeah, but you've got to consider that like the roads just aren't meant for you to.
Oh no, I definitely am considering. Yeah.
You need the American highway system.
You guys
for
are
your
allowed
tiny
a lot
country.
of cars on the road at once. Like I've never seen a road in London where more than 3 cars are allowed on one side of the road at once. That's like a motorway. But it's like in America, the average road has like 5 cars going down it.
around DC, there's like the Capital Beltway, which is like 11 lanes.
Yeah, Chicago is like that as well, and I was like, wow.
Yeah,
that's insane.
all big cities are. And trust me, it's terrifying.
Not really.
New York has roads like that, yeah.
Not in the city though.
No, not in
Manhattan
the
is
city.
Yeah,
packed.
that's what you're
And New York has huge interstates like I-95 runs straight through New York.
City.
Yeah, through the city. Like you drive over Manhattan to get anywhere else.
Where do you think Toy Story 3 takes? Well, the Toy Story films take place.
Denton, Texas. Denton, Texas, yeah.
Why do you
Have you
think
not seen that thing about the addresses? That's the only spot in America where the addresses meet up.
Really? I did not know that. I've always thought it took place in California, but I just...
Well, I mean, it doesn't actually... I don't think it actually takes place in Texas, but there you can, like, triangulate that coordinate to a spot in Texas.
It's referred to as a tri-state area, so I don't know, like it.
Tri-county
area. Sorry, you're right. Tri-state areas from Phineas and Ferb.
We have tri-state areas. We have tri-cities and tri-counties. It's a spot where three things meet up.
Apparently, according to people who, again, commenters on my videos, a tri-state area or tri-county area is just a way of referring to an area in a film or television without being specific.
Yeah, that's absolutely the case. Toy Story has tri-county everything.
Yeah, and yeah.
It could also be in Cincinnati, Ohio.
The roads don't meet in Cincinnati.
That's correct.
I'm confused how you've worked this out, to be honest.
It's in IMDb trivia. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
I've got it right here. 1225 Sycamore Street, Bonnie's house, and 234 Elm Street, Andy's house, do exist together in 2 cities, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Denton, Texas. That they are, in reality, much further apart in Cincinnati. In Denton, they intersect. Elm Street is similarly surrounded by roads with names of trees, maple, walnut, hickory, oak, as seen in the scene where Woody uses the computer to find his way home.
No, I always thought it took place in California, but then people have said that the neighborhoods aren't California-y.
They're not.
No, they're definitely...
I wouldn't say they're Texas-y either. They're like,
no, they're
like
Cincinnati
Virginia-y.
makes sense. Yeah, they're
Midwest
eastern to eastern.
But I do think the film is meant to take place in like near.
Well,
I
hold
think
on.
they picture the studios like.
If the theory needs to hold up, then where's Riley from? She's from like Minnesota.
Riley's from Minnesota, but moves to San Francisco.
Well, it's not San Francisco. I'll tell you that.
That's what I've said. It was San Francisco, but I didn't. We'll see.
Yeah. So if it's supposed to be Riley in the daycare, then it's got to be Minnesota.
No, but it isn't Riley in the daycare. It's Riley as a teenager at school in San Francisco with her school friends in San Francisco.
Ah.
No, but wait. What?
I've made a theory saying that Toy Story would take, and it was revolving around that Toy Story took place in San Francisco. It was a point I kind of glossed over because I didn't know enough information on it. And I was just like, this could be San Francisco. There's no reason not to. They're both referred to as tri-county areas, so I don't know.
I mean, they could also just be within like the Pixar universe, an area called the Tri-County.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna like
because I was like, there's not enough evidence to know where Toy Story is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna call you out here or anything or like dismiss your theory. But if there's any area that San Francisco's called, it's the Bay Area.
Yeah, I knew that because no, they go to Morro Bay because they're in Finding Dory. That was what the whole thing was, and there was like a trip to Morro Bay, which is like 4 hours from San Francisco.
I don't know what Morro Bay is. I just know that
that's in California.
When you're talking about San Francisco, you refer to the Bay Area.
Yeah. Okay. Well, either way, I don't think it's the end of the world. That theory is only 2 years old. If the fact the areas don't match up.
Oh, I mean, it's definitely not. It's definitely not San Francisco.
Like, I don't mind. I still think there was stuff there that go, even if you're not considering the areas into account,
for sure.
You've got stuff to work with. I don't know. Who cares?
For sure.
It's my most viewed video. I'm not like.
That's just like there's no neighborhoods like that exist in San Francisco.
He moves house though at one point, so because there's an area at the start.
Just like Riley.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know theories and stuff. Anyway, yeah, it's the Tri-County thing is meant to keep it vague.
Yeah.
Because it's the Tri-County International Airport, Tri-County whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, Andy lives on Alcatraz. That's all I'm getting at.
Well,
that's a joke.
Yeah,
obviously.
I got it.
Yeah.
Andy's in prison. Andy didn't go to college. Andy went to prison.
It also rains in the scene where Lotso is going to Sunnyside Daycare. I don't think it rains in California.
If it's gonna rain anywhere in California, it'll be like San Francisco, that area. Because San Francisco is pretty far north compared to almost everything in California.
But it's in the north.
I mean, you're not quite all the way up in the there are redwoods in Golden Gate Park.
Well, what do you think about that Lotso scene in Toy Story 3 when it reveals his backstory?
I think that's the scene that you theorists need to pay attention to.
I think so too. It's a good scene. I think
Lotso's kid.
I've tried to work out who Lotso's Daisy is so many times. Actually,
that was the only character I've seen in a film so far that I thought, because Lotso's a bear, so I thought Daisy could be Boo.
Okay, Daisy has blonde hair. I don't mean, I really did.
Yeah,
why not? Kids change their hair color.
I don't know. I didn't think she was Boo. I didn't think she looked anything like Boo, but I've definitely had a look into Daisy's character before. Whether it be she's like, I don't know who she could have been, but like if you're like considering how long the passage of time could have been, she could technically have been Andy's mum, because we don't know how long ago Lotso took over Sunnyside Daycare, but it probably wasn't that long ago because they look kind of similar. But there are so many characters Daisy could be. 100%.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Boo thing is just an idea, but she could be so many different people.
100%. I've had a good look to try and work that out. Back in like 2017, I was like, this is a theory I can work on. Let's find out who Daisy is. But I didn't really get anywhere. And I also found out no one knew she was called Daisy. So if I'd tried to...
That's weird. It's like written down
I thought
on
so
the name
too,
tag.
But no one knows. Like, what was it? Jay and Ben did these, like a quiz, and they were like, neither of them knew what her name was in the quiz or something.
I mean, if I only know it because I watched this morning. I couldn't have told
I would have
you
known
that
off the top of my head because of the name tags. Yeah, I know
right,
that.
But I don't. I knew it because I watched it this morning. Like, I would not have before today. I would not have been able to just be like, yeah, her name's Daisy.
Yeah, so that would have been a problem with like, because you always got to think about the title. If you're like, is Daisy so and so? I'm like, who's Daisy? Like, you're relying on the fact everyone's watched Toy Story 3 in like in recent.
I mean, you could make the title like
thumbnail
who is,
and you've got it,
and then you could say like,
who is Lotso's kid?
Yeah, Lotso's kid is who? ?
Yeah, I get. But I've had a look through. I couldn't find anyone in a recent film, but then they've released 2 films since then, being Coco and Incredibles 2. So maybe when Incredibles 2 comes out on DVD, have a scan through. But I guess that's too long ago in the past because he said it took place in the 60s. So Coco.
But you don't know how long he's been at.
Well, this is the thing. Chuckles says that Bonnie took him, so I don't think it was long enough. That like, how long would have Chuckles withstanded being at Sunnyside? Like,
well, he just said he got ripped, so who knows when that happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I always assumed like he ran it for like a year, and then
no, because he shows on the wall all the kids that have come through.
But it doesn't necessarily mean he was there for maybe. But like, yeah, Chuckles got taken by Bonnie, so eventually, so maybe Chuckles withstood like being under Lotso's reign of terror for like years. Oh, sorry, my phone.
That's okay. You also have a lot of freedom because Lotso Huggin' Bear was like a Buzz Lightyear of his time period, in that it was a popular toy. Like, not only was he able to be replaced, unlike Woody, because Woody's a one of a kind, he was replaced, but he was also the trash man had one of him.
Yeah, when he was like a kid, he was
And-
like, I remember having one of these.
Oh, that proves he's an old toy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're working
And he
on
was-
something here, guys. Yeah, let's keep going. I'm loving
He
it.
was new.
I felt
'cause
like
he was
needed
new
a video
when-
idea this podcast.
Yeah, because he was new when Daisy got him.
Yeah, he was. And
Because she was able to get a brand new one again. So he's
And-
clearly been at Sunnyside for a while.
yeah, I like that. And that I guess and there's one in Up. I don't know why that's worth mentioning. There is one in Up.
Maybe she's Ellie.
Yeah, I don't say maybe. Ellie, she's quite old.
Hold on. Her name is Daisy, right?
I'm currently just zoomed in on a Walmart Supercenter in El Segundo, California.
If anything you're
Escondido,
looking up on
California.
like a Disney wiki, I have seen. Like I have looked up everything.
Have
that
you
came
seen
to
this
character.
Walmart in Escondido, California?
No, I haven't.
Oh, well, because it's fascinating.
Tell me about why did I type in Daisy and then Disney was the I wrote Disney. I'm sorry, Walmart where?
in Escondido, California.
Escondido.
Escondido, which is just outside of Los Angeles. Basically, we started talking about San Francisco, and I just had a map of California pulled up. But this is taken split from two different Google satellite images, and in the left half of the picture, it's a parking lot full of cars going to Walmart, and in the right half, it's a Walmart being constructed.
It's not currently a popular time at that store, and there's a pharmacy open at the moment, and a photo center, and a pickup. Someone watching the podcast is gonna be like, "Oh my god, I live right by that Walmart."
Maybe I'm not in Escondido. Where am I? I am in. I don't even know. I have no idea. Poway. Poway.
Why are you in Escondido?
Because we're talking about California,
What
man. And
did
I've
you
just been.
put on the Skype chat, Tyler?
I've just been zooming Google in and out while we're talking, and that's where I ended up. Was zoomed very far in on
I've
a
just
Walmart
downloaded
in
a
California.
.bmp file. You think that's
So-
who it is? I've thought that before.
That's Riley as a baby, and then there's a picture of
But Tyler, there's something you're missing here, being their names.
Right, I know that's the problem. But we have the right genes. There could be a sister down the line. There could be.
Well, what's Riley's mom's name?
Jill.
Dang.
There you go. That was awesome. Well done.
What,
I just
no,
wasn't sure if she was just like listed as Mrs. Riley.
I've made a full video on this because she has a card called K. Ann Anderson, but like Anderson spelt differently. So she has a card without her name on it. Basically, I was like, did she commit credit card fraud? Yeah, definitely has the right genes. Does right, but there's the big theory that Riley's adopted. So the minute you make a video about Riley being the actual child, legitimate child of someone else, be like, oh, I prefer the,
Well,
video,
then
the
this
theory
is-
that Riley's adopted.
Well, then this
we
is
have to
Riley's
incorporate-
biomom.
Yeah, maybe. We're gonna incorporate it around it. Okay.
Or you could look. I mean, are there any kids in one of the less prevailing theory movies, like Ratatouille or one of those?
Ratatouille's bit. It's in France, so you'd be grasping at straws. I'm trying to think. Are there any kids that like the thing? But like, they've got to be a relevant character. Riley's a relevant character to work.
I mean, Dash has similar hair,
Again, but an
and
incredible.
he could be the
yeah.
parent of a child.
I've done Dash is the parent of Molly, like as in Andy's sister, Molly.
Right.
I feel like if you're going to try to make Dash this Daisy's dad, then your timeline gets a little messed up.
Dash being Daisy's dad works with the timeline, I think.
Does it?
Because I've done Dash's Molly's dad. But
Who's Molly?
Molly's Andy's sister.
Oh, that Molly and Andy aren't like
I
from
did
the same.
that. I did that before. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That was one of my videos that actually did very well. It got like 1 million views. But then your brothers came out with the whole like Mike Mozart thing like a month later, and now if I go on
just-
it, you want to know what every single comment is. Go
What?
watch Super Carlin Brothers video. Andy's dad died. I'm like, I know, I've seen it, guys, but they still comment it to this day. It's like I honestly, I'm gonna go find some recent comments. 10 hours ago, didn't you see the Super Carlin Brothers video on Andy's dad? 4 days ago. Oh, that has nothing to do with it. But like it's like I uploaded it before that for it, but because they just will both come up as 1 year ago now, no one realizes that I uploaded mine first before it came out. And that's it's like go watch the Super Carlin Brothers video. He died. I saw a theory that belongs to the Super Carlin Brothers that actually figures out what happened to Andy's dad. Someone's like, you're so way off. Andy's dad, like,
This is so sad.
it never gets good comments anymore. It just gets a bunch of dislikes because they released their theory just completely contradicting it, and that just killed it.
That's depressing.
Even though Andrew Stanton shot down theirs and didn't shoot down mine, so.
That's true.
But then they got Mike Mozart, who knows the story. I still think that's their crown and jewel.
Oh, I think as far as journalism goes, that's their best work. I'm trying to find. Are there any kids?
What's
Wow,
in-
the
What's insane
the
is
street
that-
view of this Walmart is a completed Walmart.
What's insane is that like Jonathan found out about it from like him talking about it on a live stream.
Yeah, like very small viewed live stream.
Could you imagine like if someone else had picked up the story first? Like,
yeah, it would have been nuts.
Because apparently they hung on to it for 2 weeks without uploading.
Yeah, they did. I remember
He
that.
told me that. I was like, wow. Like, the thing that first came to mind was like, whoa, imagine if I'd come across that. Like in those 2 weeks they were holding on to it. So, Toy Story 3. We haven't really spoken.
Sorry, I went down a rabbit hole. I did.
Ethan's still going down that rabbit hole. He's looking at Walmart.
He
really,
is.
Isn't he?
He's like, how busy are all the Walmarts in America right now?
No, I'm thinking. While I'm listening to what you guys are saying, trying to process it, and also looking at pictures of Walmarts.
Yeah, maybe, but by the time this video comes out, I'll have just dropped this theory about, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, he came up with this idea through here." Like, yeah, if I have dropped,
that's the idea.
I have dropped the theory, the idea came from here. I just want to say
That's
that.
right.
I'll give Tyler and Ethan. I will 100% give you guys credit if I actually write this theory. I was like, I came up with this idea in a podcast episode that's coming out in 4 weeks' time.
Yeah. Oh man. What a wild question. Toy Story 3. Is there anything you don't like about this movie, Seamus?
No. Wait. No, I don't. I wouldn't say that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. No, I the minor thing, and the most minor complaint about it would be that they don't show the bit of them getting back to Andy's house from the incinerator. It's shown how they do it, but they don't actually show it.
Wait, how did they
jump
do it?
on the back of like a lorry or something, and then like a garbage truck, and then they jump off it?
Why do you need Lori? Why do you need the scene? What do you feel like you're missing
I
from
just
that?
felt like they kind of jumped forward. I was like, we could have had more film.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it shows them jumping on it. It might. And it shows them jumping off it. Maybe not, actually. If that was the only complaint I had, then there is nothing to complain about. I'd say that is perfect film. I genuinely don't have any complaints. Did I say something earlier about like something that didn't quite... the claw thing maybe, but
yeah, that's the only thing that I kind of have an issue with. What about you, Ethan?
Saw it, so I'm not going to complain. No, it's the perfect
No,
film.
I mean there's not a whole lot. This movie's, I think, very, very well put together. There's a great improvement on animation quality, even over the second one.
Yeah, but it's been 11 years. Like, if they hadn't improved, it would have been like...
No, but I mean, watching them back to back to back over 3 days is kind of wild.
Yeah, it improves drastically.
Yeah, like to
they
notice.
They didn't know how to animate a human for the first two.
Or a dog.
Yeah, and then...
Yeah, the dog in the first one
And
is
then
not good.
they're like, this dog must be super old now. Like,
It is 12 years old, yeah.
Yeah, like they dealt with it just.
Buster's gonna be super duper dead.
Yeah, I think they'll just
For Toy Story
completely
4.
gloss over that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not think that's gonna be mentioned unless they really want to go down a sad route and fully.
I mean, they always do. They've got to hit us with one.
But like, how big a part is Andy gonna be playing in the film?
I don't know. It's tough to say. According to his Wikipedia or his wiki, he is confirmed to be in it.
Is he?
So I don't know if that's
I like
true
that.
or not.
I like
you know,
that. I hope it does revolve around the toys with Bonnie, and he's more of like not like a huge like part. I hope Bonnie has a bigger part than he does.
yeah, I would agree. I would hope that
If
she
it's
is
just
the
like he
character
becomes
that.
core again, it's like, what was the point of like him donating them and giving them away? Like,
Right. I am hoping for the return of Mrs. Nesbit.
okay, you know,
I am Mrs. Nesbit!
you know, there's a
Because
Mrs.
they do the
Nesbit
tea parties.
in Monsters University as well.
Is there?
Yeah, Mike Wazowski's teacher at the start. See, I've never met
Miss
anyone
Nesbit?
with the surname Nesbit, but is it just like a stereotypical common surname in America?
No.
It's making fun of the British.
Yeah.
Because like there's a
We don't do tea in America.
There's a Nesbit in How I Met Your Mother as well. Is it?
Nesbit?
Yeah, there's like people who live upstairs from Marshall and Lily when they sing the Night Night Little Marvin song. It's like Mr. Nesbit says good night. I don't know. Is that something I've made up?
I have no idea. 1 minute you're defending the whole galaxy, and suddenly you see yourself sucking down Darjeeling with Marie Antoinette and her little sister.
There's a very good moment. I do not think that... Well, Buzz just takes on a new personality every film, doesn't he? He's like, I hope the Spanish mode makes a return. The Spanish mode will
I love
Spanish Buzz.
mode.
100%. I love that. That's one of... my big problem with it, and I've done a video on it
People
before,
love
is that,
Spanish Buzz.
Is that it doesn't explain why he just kind of comes back randomly.
I don't know. You hit it hard enough that it resets. That's how toys work,
Yeah,
right?
it is. But it shows. I like Buzz's Spanish mode. I think that's really well done. Buzz's character is really well done when he like takes control, and Lotso is such a well written villain. He better be top of your villain list.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think he's much better than Hans, which is like the other giant computer animated film.
Yeah,
Because like Lotso
the one
and
from Zootopia.
oh, that's a good comparison. comparison as well.
They're all Disney villains are the exact same. They're not meant to be. Ernesto de la Cruz. They're all not meant to be villains. Then they turn into a villain at some point during the film. They do it in every film. It kind of annoys me.
Even the dude in Incredibles 2.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't the villain, but the sister.
Always. It's always like, this person isn't a villain, then they turn him into a villain. It's like I remember with Hans, I knew, 100% knew. Lotso, I kind of worked it out. I was a bit younger. And Zootopia, I worked it out, like, in moments that it was going to be the sheep. I always catch on to it, because you know you're expecting.
Right.
Like, what films haven't they really done it? Inside Out, but there wasn't a villain in Inside Out. So, actually, a lot of Pixar films haven't had villains as well. Like, Good Dinosaur didn't really have a villain, nor did Inside Out, or Finding Dory, for that matter. They just kind of had antagonists.
Yeah, I wouldn't call the dentist a villain in Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
I would call Darla a villain.
An antagonist, in my opinion.
Well, Darla's just being a kid.
Yeah. I feel like
I do like Spanish Buzz.
I
though,
feel like
as
there
long
is
as
a
we're still on that.
villain, and then there's like Lotso is a villain.
Yeah, no, that dude is straight up evil.
But you understand why. It's the first time an example of being replaced is ever shown in a film, because like that was a big thing that needed to be explored. And that's what I was really impressed with, because like somehow in 2 films they never show an example of a toy just being flat out lost and replaced.
Right.
And like that is a thing
And
that would be
the way
common with toys, you'd think, right?
Right, and the way that he handles it is like, he doesn't want me anymore, but he does want you. He just, or she just doesn't need you because you've been replaced. Like, I'm sure that there was plenty of tears cried when Daisy realized, oh my god, I left all of my toys at the picnic or whatever.
It's exactly, but it's exactly how you'd think a toy would react to being replaced, right? I guess Woody has to deal with being replaced by Buzz, but it's not to the same extent. Like Lotso is flat out just a replica of him is bought and given,
right?
And but like and his attitude's like, well, if she doesn't want to have me, she can't have anyone,
right?
Yeah, it's a very good character, like well written character.
Yeah, he's so vindictive.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
And eventually, Big Baby turns against him. In another Star Wars reference, when she lifts him up, Darth Vader on Emperor.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a reference until it was told to me, and I was like, oh yeah, that's so obviously a reference.
Do they mirror the 3 Star Wars original films, like, exactly?
Yeah, basically.
Is there a trash compactor in the first one?
No, they have the Buzz like referring to the Death Star though, and saying like, I'm the only one with the secret plans. Then the second one, there's the I am your father, and then there's the third one with them Big Baby chucking Lotso and getting rid of him, not for good. But yeah, they do. I'd never thought of it, but they completely mirror them. What are they gonna do for the 4th one? Reference the Phantom Menace?
No, they're gonna reference. Hopefully, they reference the Force Awakens.
Yeah,
because that's their property now, so they can.
Han Solo, like.
I mean, I think they could go so far as putting a Star Wars toy in it.
Yeah, they could do that now. I've never even thought of that. They could. But would it be too soon to make a Han Solo dies joke?
No. I tell you, though, what a solid move, J.J. Abrams. Killing off Han Solo.
It was very predictable, I think, like, that Han Solo was going to die.
Really?
I thought, like, well, one of the main 3 was going to die in that film, right? They always kill someone big off in the first. Like, you've got Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan in the, like, first of their trilogies. So you knew someone was going to die. It wasn't going to be Leia. It could have been Luke or Han, I think. The big reveal for me in that film was that Kylo was the descendant of Han and Leia and not Rey.
Yeah.
Because I did not
Ben
see that
Solo.
coming at all. I was like, oh wow, yeah, I never even thought of who Kylo's parents were. I didn't watch too many theories back then on Star Wars. I was kind of trying to keep away from it.
I never even saw a trailer.
Didn't you? Oh, it's best trailer until Infinity
No,
War.
I've seen the trailer.
Yeah.
I have since seen it. I just didn't watch it when it came out. I knew nothing about Star Wars going in. Nothing about that movie.
I think that's someone asked this for my upcoming Q&A. It's one of the top comments. Do you think a trailer ruins a film? Because I don't, if it's done right. But a trailer can.
It is so rarely done right anymore.
Infinity War did it right.
Yeah, I still think it was pointless.
It got me excited. It looked good. The Force Awakens, I think the first trailer was very well done. Didn't really give anything away about the film. It referenced Return of the Jedi. I think those are 2 top trailers. Incredibles 2, just like, we're going to tell you everything.
Yeah, that's the way.
I think Wreck-It Ralph
is also a
has
whole
done
movie.
the same, but I haven't watched any of them since the 3rd one.
I think with Incredibles 2, what they were hoping for was that it wasn't so incredibly obvious that the sister was the villain. But it just was. Like, she was always in the darkness.
Yeah.
Her, like, early comments were so...
Yeah.
Well, her name is Evil Endeavor.
They didn't. I thought it was too obvious that she was the villain.
It was very much too obvious.
I feel like, yeah, not gonna make it that obvious. But they didn't really even try to make Winston a red herring.
No.
Right.
Like, they just...
Well, because they tried to make it the screenslaver, the red herring.
Yeah, and they did try and throw you off by making it like, oh, it's the pizza guy.
Yeah, but when they said it's the pizza guy, I was like,
It's
oh,
not
well,
the
it's
pizza
not.
guy, though, is it? Yeah.
right. That's obviously not who it was.
No, I have a video I want to make on this soon that it should have been Rick Dicker.
Yeah,
he just
definitely should. I agree
disappeared
with
from
that.
the first act. You don't
Yeah.
see it being him. You don't expect it being. That would have been perfect in my opinion. Because you like, and then the whole Evelyn thing would have worked even better because you'd have been like, oh, it's gonna be Evelyn, and then it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Right. It's like it's gonna be evil endeavor.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
not.
she should have
Okay.
been
And she's like
she
in
should
the
have been the red
shadows
herring.
as well. She should have been the red herring. But like, she works as the red herring, but in my head it was like, it's still too obvious. So I was like, it could still be Winston because of how obvious they're making it.
Well, that was the thing,
And
is I
then-
thought it was
then
really
that's
going
why Rick Dicker makes the perfect one, because it's like you've got like Evelyn way too obvious. It could be, but seems way too obvious. Winston, he's like, she's the red herring. It's gonna be him, but it's actually just someone
Right.
completely different that's been just off screen since the first scene. That would be like a perfect mirroring of Syndrome as well. Loses his job at the start,
Yeah, that would
and
have.
then comes in as the
Yeah.
villain at the end. But they didn't.
After all, I am your biggest fan.
But I know Lotso, I would say, is one of the best Toy Story the Pixar villains of all time. Like, you've got Syndrome.
Oh, he's much better than Syndrome.
Would you say?
I like Syndrome.
I like him a lot better than Syndrome.
You don't like Incredibles though, so
I don't dislike
You don't
Incredibles
dislike-
1. It
you're
just
not
didn't.
like- yeah.
It just didn't. It wasn't like it wasn't all that important to me. I guess is kind of what's up with it. But I just think think Lotso's a better villain.
I like Randall
It is
a lot.
Oh, I do like Randall. Randall's good.
Randall, Lotso.
I wouldn't.
Syndrome.
Would we call Randall the villain? Waternoose is the villain. Randall's the henchman.
Yeah, but Randall's like in the first one, like University as well, is a bit of a villain character. I don't know. I feel like Randall's a villain. He's the Darth Vader to Waternoose's Emperor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good comparison. Yeah.
Well, that's how most.
And people love Darth Vader. Whoa.
And
like-
there'd be no saying Darth Vader isn't a villain.
No.
And people love Darth Vader as a
They
villain.
do. And it's one of the reasons
But-
why, like, the whole Anakin Skywalker thing, everyone's like...
Randall doesn't
hey.
strike me as being able to come up with that plan alone. Like Darth Vader could have still been
Oh, yeah.
the big bad alone. I don't think Randall could have.
Darth Vader wanted to take down...
Not that I'm saying like we need to compare Randall and Darth Vader.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like as far as we're talking about best villains, it's like I think Waternoose is a better villain out of that series.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but like, just to speak on Anakin real quick, his plan revealed in Revenge of the Sith is that he wants to overthrow the Emperor.
And he said to Luke he would in 5, didn't he? Empire.
Yeah.
He was like,
All new Empire.
Yeah, because he was like, well, I mean, if you want to come with me, kid, then we can just take this whole thing over ourselves.
Yeah, I don't know why he needed Luke for that.
Get in the family business, man.
But like, why was he just trying to take over himself? Like, why was it suddenly when
Oh,
Luke
because it's
came
not
along,
worth it.
He was, oh yeah.
If he's doing it by himself, it's
Yeah,
not
Luke,
worth it.
Luke is the connection to Padme, and he does it all for Padme.
See,
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of sad.
It's almost like the prequels are genius.
Revenge of the Sith's good. We've spoken about that before.
We
You
have.
can listen to that at Bacon and Egg, a movie lovers
can.
podcast.
Oh yeah, we did talk Revenge of the Sith. I keep forgetting that.
Wait, how does it go? Bacon and Eggs, a movie lovers podcast. Something, iTunes, and wherever you get your podcasts.
It's
And
Bacon
now
and
on
Eggs and Movie Lovers
Spotify.
podcast with new episodes every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts and now on Spotify.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I need to get that on a mug so I remember it.
We have an extra mug.
Yeah, do you want it?
Yeah, sure. We're gonna do an exchange.
we
Yeah,
just
you
give
just,
it to
I'll
you.
just,
That's
you can
fine.
just give it to me next time I come over. I'll just like bring it home. You don't even have to
Yeah,
post
that'll
it.
be a lot easier because it's going to cost us a lot of money
Yeah,
to ship it.
100%. I have a coat to get when I come back to America. I left my coat
Cool.
in Ben's truck.
Nice.
Had you ever been in a truck before?
Before Ben? Very
Yeah.
good question. Like, I don't know, actually. I said to him that his car would be illegal where I'm from because it took
So
much
here in the
petrol.
States, everyone's grandfather had a truck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes to
Like-
truck barbecues and stuff, doesn't he? Like, I don't know, like he goes like truckers stuff.
No,
No, he goes tailgates.
tailgates.
Yeah, that's the word.
That's revolving around a sporting event.
Yeah, it's just like you usually, if you go to the person who owns a truck and like tradition drives their truck, but these days you just drive whatever to the tailgate.
Does he still need it? Because does he still do aquarium moving stuff?
Ben has a like 20-foot camper, so he
Oh,
needs
I
it.
see. Well, I've
It's
been in
what
Ben's
you would
truck.
call a caravan.
Oh.
So we don't.
Oh, I
First
didn't
of
know
all,
what it
they're-
meant. I was just kind of okay.
First
yeah.
of all, they're bigger. They're bigger in the States because everything's bigger in the States.
Oh, I didn't know you had a
Second,
caravan.
we don't just hook them up behind a Vauxhall Astra and call it good. It's like we need in the States, we've decided that we need a monster of an engine to haul one of these things because we need it to be able to go 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I didn't know Ben had a caravan. That's cool.
So like everything that Jeremy Clarkson complains about in Top Gear about caravans just doesn't exist in the United States. I'm frequently passed by trucks pulling caravans,
It's amazing.
doing like 80 down the interstate, and I'm like, that is terrifying.
Well, I left I don't know if he's even held on to it. I left it in the back of his car. He probably just thrown it somewhere.
He has a pair of my khakis as well, and I live down the street from him. So
Well, yeah, I'll probably come over and like we'll meet at on a middle location of not Roanoke, and then I just won't get it. So
right.
Yeah, I would say safe bet you're not getting that back.
yeah, I would say safe bet I'm not getting that back. It was a nice coat.
My
as well.
girlfriend left a coat in Tyler's car one time, and it's gone forever.
What are you talking about? I gave it back to you.
No, you never did.
What kind of coat is it?
Katie's Columbia jacket?
Oh, no, it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's gone forever.
Oh, it doesn't exist.
No,
Yeah.
it existed.
No, the jacket.
It got eaten by the universe.
Like, I looked there was other things from that night that I did get back to you.
Yeah.
Well,
So I don't know what happened to it.
well, I was
all
just gonna come over to get my coat, but
Come to the States just for that.
that's the kind of extra stuff I do on my videos.
Did they release like indie films in the UK?
Yeah.
Like, were you able? Was 8th grade?
Oh, they
in the UK?
release indie films. I don't know.
Eighth grade was not in the UK.
No, I wouldn't have said it is.
I signed a petition to bring 8th grade to the UK.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
To be fair though, no one would know what 8th grade means.
I think they
Yeah,
figured
probably
out
would,
when they
but-
saw. It's a movie about a 14-year-old in
Yeah.
school.
What is that, sixth form?
No, sixth form's later than that. It'd be year 9.
Okay.
Because you have 2 years
yeah.
of kindergarten. We just have reception.
No.
We have
have 1 year of kindergarten.
Oh, I don't know how your school system.
It's kindergarten and then 1st through 12th grade.
We have.
And your
so you only have
age is your
13 years
grade
of
plus
school.
6. Yeah.
Huh.
And then
Or
college.
14.
So you start when you're 4?
Yeah.
Or 5, 4.
Yeah.
No, I was asking
We do, like-
Seamus.
Yeah. Reception at 4.
We do a year to 2 years of preschool.
Yeah.
That's
I
not
did the 3-year-old
compulsory
program and the
in our
4-year-old
country.
program.
No, it's not compulsory here either.
Oh, so you start at 5.
Yeah.
That's 5 years of freedom, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna have 5 years of freedom before you turn my age, and then
Yeah,
I'll be
how
30.
have I got this
Whoa.
far? I don't know.
I don't know. You're much further along in life than
I
I
don't know
am.
how this is. I don't know.
know.
Yeah, again, I think I just got super lucky.
I don't know. Like, your fans can chalk it up to a Super Carlin Brothers shout out all you want, but we've gotten Super Carlin Brothers shout outs, and we don't have 250,000 subscribers. So
I think if
I
we-
don't
or
think
listeners.
my fans chalk it up to 250,000.
I think if we were random people 3 years ago that made theory videos and we got a Super Carlin Brothers shout out, then they would probably do well for us.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that it was that definitely. I'm not saying it's the reason for your success. I think it was definitely a factor.
I think
I think you had a lot of things working well
At the
for you.
time, they didn't have as many subscribers as they do now. They might have had like 700,000. So it was at a time when like what we do now is so much more saturated. There's so many people doing
Right.
it. At the time, it was like something kind of like they were just on their own doing, really.
Yeah.
And I did it, the same thing, really. And then people were like, oh, well, we like them. Why don't we watch him as well? Like, but I don't know.
And then it became, well, we like them. Why don't we just do this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, it's like, well, he's had success. Let's do it. Now everyone
Yeah.
does it. It's just kind of like, yeah. But I know I don't think my fans say it. My success is due to a Super Colin Brothers shout out. People
wouldn't
trying
say
to
that.
put me down would say that, like commenters.
Well, don't listen to those people.
I don't really.
Seamus.
I'm really not bad with reading like hate comments. I really couldn't care less. But
I mean, you've probably gotten. I don't want to bring up the incident again because we've talked about
Oh,
it in every
we've hit
episode.
three.
You've probably gotten worse. You've probably gotten worse hate comments for certain things than most people. Will ever
The
have to
incident
deal
is
with.
what we're calling that now.
it sounds like I've done like I've filmed a dead body or something. Like I haven't done anything
Right.
severe. No,
Right.
I would.
Okay, Seamus, we have a very different, I think, relationship with lighting books on fire in America than you do.
I think it's just lighting your own property on fire.
I would agree. I think what you did is fine.
Yeah, but like there are lots of people in America that would see that as much more of a statement that you're making about it.
The point was to be a statement.
No, but I mean a statement that you're not trying to make.
Yeah. Well, my
A statement on a much bigger level about like what should and shouldn't be read by humans. Not just from like a oh this is garbage because it doesn't talk correctly about Harry Potter standpoint, but from like a the government should tell us what we can and can't read standpoint.
I
or they
wasn't.
shouldn't.
That's obviously not what I was trying to say. But I was reading.
No,
after
I know that.
I
but-
spoke to people like advisors after
Yeah.
doing it. Like, well, not advisors. I spoke to people I went to school with who are very intelligent and do stuff like in like media and stuff. And all of them were like, "Yeah, I would have told you not to do that." But then I also read up a lot about it before I did it because I was planning on doing. I made a joke about doing it in a video, and then everyone was like, "Yeah, do that." And I read up on it about it, and there's one quote I've got it up now from a blog that said. There's an immense difference between burning your own book as a way of saying, I hate this book, which adds more expression to the marketplace of ideas, and the confiscation and the confiscation and destruction of other people's books, which is about depriving people of access to expression that they want to consume. That to me was the pinnacle. I am burning my own property. Like there was this big thing with people burning Nike stuff.
Yeah,
Nike.
Nike. Sorry. To me,
I've had this conversation so many times with English people.
To me,
you wouldn't call it bikey.
I don't really care. To
I
me,
call her the
it is the
bakey.
exact same thing. I'm burning my own property, and I think it's the same thing, isn't it? It's saying this is something humans shouldn't consume if you burn a Nike. Like, was it like? But to me, it's the same thing. And I see people like burn like football shirts all the time when like a player leaves their team or something. It's like a joke. I don't know. I still think people got offended by it, but I don't think there was a problem with it, and I don't think it was problematic enough to like. It wouldn't have been problematic enough if I had like 20 million subscribers. It wouldn't have gotten the mainstream attention of problematic. I don't think.
I think if you had 20 million subscribers and you did that, it would have been a much bigger deal than it was.
Yeah, I think it would have, but I don't think I'd have like needed to make like an apology video bad.
You absolutely, if you had 20 million subscribers and did it, you would have gotten like a letter from Bloomsbury.
Oh yes,
telling
I see
you,
what you mean.
telling you quite nicely to off and never do that again.
Okay,
I think you should probably apologize.
I see what you mean. The book company could have been like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but I would direct you to the book Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, which is, I believe it's an American book, but it is taught in American schools, and a lot of people take it as like anybody who burns books is a Nazi. And I'm not gonna leave this in the podcast, obviously, but like I get that what the difference you're saying, and I'm on your side here, but your average Joe, I can see why people are offended.
Yeah, I don't mind leaving my statements in about it because I would defend what I did. I don't think I think if I had 20 million subscribers, I might have been told off by. I think I'd have been advised not to do it, but it is like there are people with more subscribers who have done a lot worse stuff.
Oh, correct. But it just.
I mean, Logan got to fight.
But the difference. What there is a difference between, at least culturally in America, there's a difference between lighting a book on fire and lighting a jersey on fire.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
So, yeah. And not that I'm calling you a Nazi. And I am Team Seamus here. I think that if you want to do that, go nuts.
Yeah. Well, I've decided I'm not going to do it again. If that's like, I wouldn't say it's a mistake.
If J.K. Rowling releases another godforsaken book,
I wouldn't talk about it. Oh, I might talk about it, say it's bad, and then won't talk. But I don't think she will. I think she's done.
Yeah, I would avoid lighting things on fire on your channel.
I think she figured out how lucrative movies
But then again, the video did not get as much hate as you might think. Like I've had worse likes to dislikes ratios on like theories. Like
yeah.
I thought if it was severely like wrong, it would have like got loads of dislikes, and then I might have taken it down. But like the majority of people like have this is funny, and I think that was the point. It was funny. I wasn't saying don't get this, but what I should have done, and this is the only regret I have over the video, and like honestly, the only regret is say don't do this yourself, because I got so many messages after saying I want to burn my cursed child book. And I'm like, oh god, I've done this, haven't I? That's what I regret.
I've started a movement.
I would have just, if I was you, I would have just like thrown it out the window. Or something.
Maybe, yeah. Well, it got 11,656 likes right now, and it's got 628 dislikes.
Oh, for sure.
That's nuts.
That is like 20 to 1.
I am honestly shocked that it is not more disliked.
Granted,
I found the video funny, but I also realized that like what you were going for. But I especially think that you sort of got away with it because you're British.
Maybe. Well, but then in the contrary, worst likes to dislikes ratio, my best ever video, 2.6 million views, does Boo Go to Riley's School? 42,894 likes to 2,919 likes. That's got dislikes.
Dislikes.
That's got a worse likes to dislikes ratio of me just sitting in my room talking about film. So like,
yeah, it's just like about Pixar characters.
Well, anytime you get a viral, not necessarily viral, but a video that's like having a much outsized reach to your audience, there are going to be people that are like, this is dumb. Dislike
100%. Yeah, I get
like
the dislike
I've never disliked a video in my life.
I get it because the point of it is that if you get a video and you're recommended and it's suggested to you by YouTube and you don't like it, the dislike button is there to dislike it and say I don't want to see this again. Is that what it's for?
I thought it was just to be mean.
In my opinion, that's what it's for.
I would think that there was a different.
It makes no sense. I think it's got to have some algorithmic purpose, and it's the same as the like button because it's a fact you get more views if you get more likes.
Right.
That's what gets your video suggested. granted, YouTube tracks how much your audience interact with it. And this is like an idea I have about the algorithm, because no one really knows what the algorithm is doing. But something I believe is that there are people that watch all my videos and like it in the first second, right? Like before they even watch it. That's an audience of people.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's an audience of people that don't like all of my videos. But if they specifically enjoy one video more than another, they might like the one they enjoy a lot at the end of the video. I think those people that like right at the start, the YouTube algorithm just kind of chalks off like they like everything anyway. What's the point on even counting them? But people who only like occasional videos, they notice. I think the algorithm does, and is like, and that's what gets a video more recommended. I think I don't think liking, like people who just click like in the very first second actually affect it, which is why I don't think it makes sense to ask for likes in the first minute of a video. But that's just me.
That makes sense, because I also think it affects, it's about view time. Like how much time have people
100%.
spent watching this
and
video.
I think they can, therefore, because they can track how long someone's been watching the video, what goes to say they can't track at what second they liked the video.
Right.
And I think they monitor when they like the video. If they like it towards the end, it shows they've watched the video to the end and they've enjoyed it, so they've clicked like. That's a thesis I have about the algorithm, at least.
I have no idea.
What's it like having your life run by a mathematical equation you know nothing about?
It's interesting. It's annoying as well. I think the truth with YouTube is, and I think most YouTubers will tell you this, is that the worst way to deal with YouTube is just constantly getting glued to your analytics and just looking at views at all times. That is how you get upset about YouTube.
That's one of the things they taught us when we went to our first like podcasting conference, was like looking at your numbers isn't going to make them grow, so don't waste your time. And I read my comment more than I'd look at my numbers. Oh my gosh, I have never read a YouTube comment. Those are horrifying.
I read comment if a video is I have a system with comments. I read them in the first day of the video going out. So I usually upload late. So I don't check anything until I wake up in the morning. Then I have a nice read through of about 9 hours of comment. That could sometimes take like an hour to get through, but I'll get through all of them.
Yeah, I bet.
And then I'll love a few, like, because there's got the little button if I find them funny. I might reply to a few, like, so yeah, if you want to reply from me, I like comment at like, I don't know, whatever time I wake up in the morning, 11 UK time on the day after a video, comment then. If you want to reply. That's when I'm like most active. And I might go check at another point in the day. I probably will. And then I'll just leave it for dead after that, unless it takes off. If I notice a weird surge in the video's views, I want to see what people who are new to my channel are saying.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And that's all I really read on the comments. I'm not going to be reading a comment on a video that I uploaded 2 years ago. I'm not going to be checking.
You just did, though.
I do, to make a point, but like, I'm not going to be like checking them every day. Like, oh, what are people saying about this? Because like, that's old news now. It's not like my content's changed severely. If they're going to criticize me, it's like I probably already learned from it. Like,
right. And it's like, not that I comment on YouTube videos ever in my life. Like, I mean, I did at one point when YouTube was, smaller.
Yeah.
But anymore, I wouldn't comment on video. But I especially wouldn't comment on like an old video.
Yeah, no.
Like I'm not gonna go back to like 6 years ago, Good Mythical Morning, and be like, I didn't like this episode.
I think you guys are losing your touch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I completely understand. It's usually, I think comments are mostly done by kids anyway. I don't know how many adults.
Well, like it would be an extraordinary thing for me to click like on a YouTube video.
Would it even you?
Because when I do it, because I'm logged into our
I like it.
Our YouTube account. I'm logged into our YouTube account, and if I click like on a video, it like tweets Tyler Carlin liked a video, or Baconandeggsmedia liked a video. And
does it really?
I don't want that tweet.
You can change.
Yeah, I just liked like 11 of Seamus's videos with the brand account.
You can change that in seconds, though.
Yeah, well, he still won't change it so that it tweets from his own Twitter.
You can change that in the settings. I set it the other way round at one point, thinking like I should let people know what I've been liking, and then I came to the conclusion, you haven't like spam tweeted about bacon and eggs haven't. I don't know if Tyler has. No, again.
No, I have not.
And Ethan.
So yeah, it doesn't tweet for you.
Nothing has happened in my opinion. No, you're good.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm getting loads of free promo here, and you guys are gonna.
I did like 11 videos, but I didn't want it to be on your Twitter. Like
I set it for a bit, but then I was like, what if I like something that isn't like no one cares? Like people are gonna be like, sorry, see that you've liked that. Like I liked 3 videos today. I work to the algorithm's strengths. Because I watch a lot of creators every video, and if I specifically like a video better than the others, I'll like it. Like I liked the Super Carlin Brothers video today because I thought it was exceptionally good. But I would say I like one of their videos a month, depending on how good I think the video is. Like to give like the algorithm an idea of what I think the best video is from them.
Well, Seamus, to explain to you briefly the relationship I have with YouTube compared to you, I maybe watch one Super Carlin Brothers video a month.
Well, but you get to see them in person, so they really could just, I don't know where I'm going with that, but like
they could just tell you the theories.
Or whatever. And recently that's definitely
a lot of
happened.
times, a lot of times we'll sit down and we'll like run through 3 or 4 videos and I'll be like, oh, I didn't watch that one, and they'll be like, oh, okay, well basically the idea is, and then they'll just
or like
talking points.
Or like I'll have a conversation with Ben, and then like the next 3 videos that Ben puts up are like stuff that Ben and I just talked about.
That's actually
all that's
a really
on his mind.
interesting thing. So when I went to America this time last year, it's nearly exactly a year ago now. Well, it will be over a year ago when this comes out. We did 2 Harry Potter theories while I was there, and I suggested a third one to them while we were there. Like I'm not saying like I came up with this idea. I think I saw the idea on Reddit or something, and I was like, we could make a video on this, and I showed it to them basically, and they liked the idea. So interestingly, we made 2 videos together. At this moment of recording, one of those videos has 786,000. One of them has 700,000. Now, the video I suggested them was about the sorting hat being a unbreakable vow. And they uploaded it like a month after I left. Has 1.5 million views. I was like, I wish we pursued that one. Could you imagine how many more subscribers I'd have from that? Like that's got more than like the 2 of them put together.
Right.
But I don't really care. I mind. Like,
well, you just never, and that's the thing with these theory videos. I feel like you just never know.
You never know. It's like, my problem is I always like put my heart and soul into one. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever made. I mean, just terribly. And then like I will like quickly rush one out, and it'll be like 10,000 views in like an hour, and I'm like, oh.
We had the same sort of thing. Obviously, we're on a much smaller scale, but like one of the things, I'll make 2 points real quick. I know that Ben and Jonathan like talking to Ethan and I, and to you and to John, and to people in the community, because not many people can like keep up with their level of thinking about like theories and stuff, where it's just like a lot of times they'll come to us with a premise and we'll sort of bounce it back and forth until we get to the same conclusion they got to, and that's a good way to know that like a theory works. Or they'll ask us to like try to poke holes in one. Like I sat down with them for probably 20 minutes trying to poke holes in the Loki banner thing.
Is that what they like you to do, to poke holes in it to make sure there's no flaws?
Yeah, I mean we don't do this all the time, but like when we go to parties and stuff, we do have those conversations.
You must be fun at parties.
Right? Yeah, we talk fan theories.
No, I don't really talk to them on that regular basis. I think that's purely because they're just busy, and I don't think they reply that well on DMs. But and I don't really message them either. But when I see them in person, we will talk about like stuff like that. Or at least I feel like I only really met them once, like because in June it was chaos. I think I probably spoke to them for 5 minutes at a time, and it was over breakfast before we went to the Spartan race. I don't think
you spoke to us for like 4 hours.
I did because like we were at the meetup together, weren't we? And you were more easily accessible than 100%.
That's definitely for sure. We were way less famous.
Yeah.
And I was more easily accessible as well. One thing that blew me away was how cool the Super Carlin Brothers community was. Like they were just so calm and collected. Like because I don't know. Like they all said they watched me and all knew who I was. So I was like, okay, it's kind of like this is a situation I just want to be like, because you went to the picnic thing on the first day, right?
He did. I did.
At the end of the day,
yeah. And because I was there for the entire thing, and I was told like full on, everyone watches you. Well, most of them do at least. And I was like, I'm just going to be putting myself into a situation with a bunch of people who watch my videos. And for me, that's kind of like I don't know if because like I love meeting people who watch my videos, but it's like this conversation is just going to fully revolve around my videos, isn't it? But literally not one person brought it up at all, really. And I was like, it was so chill. It was like I wasn't even with people who like watch me, because like that's actually a big thing when I see a friend from school, for example, that I haven't seen in I don't know however long, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months. They're always one of the first things they say to me is like, oh yeah, I don't really watch your videos, I'm sorry. Like you don't need to apologize for it. Like I'm not like keeping up with your degree. Like
right. That's sort of one of the things. Like my parents don't listen to our podcast, and like that doesn't upset me. Like whatever, you don't care about film the way that I do. I'm doing this for an audience that does care about film the way that I do.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are plenty of people that like I'm friends with or we went to school with that are just like, oh, that's cool, you have a thing. I don't watch it, listen to it, but yeah, you have a thing. And I'm like, yep.
Yeah, and I
have a thing.
I really couldn't care less if someone watched it or not. I love it when a friend says they watch my video.
Oh, for sure. But you're not gonna make or break a yourself on that person.
I'm not gonna get like angry at someone for not watching it, but I always get that apology of like, oh, sorry, I don't watch your videos. I'm completely fine.
You're taking literal cents out of my pocket.
Like, yeah, my mom like makes a proper like effort like to watch every video. She's like, oh yeah, I make sure to watch through those ads, maybe click off it and get through another ad before. Like, she like watches the ad. My grandfather's exactly the same. Like, they would just watch the ads for me and like click on those ads for me.
There you go. There you go.
It's full on commitment. And then my friends will make like an effort to skip ads in front of my face, like, or get ad blocker in front of my face.
Wait, so if I hit skip ad, it doesn't work for you?
I don't think you make any revenue if someone skips the ad, because I think that's why the skip ad thing's a thing. It's like for YouTube to say, if they have no interest in your ad, you don't have to pay for it to be on the platform.
Right, but like the ones I skip are the ones that are like, this is a 5-minute ad for a 3-minute video. Like,
oh, that's annoying when the ad's long in the video. No, but most of the ads on YouTube are like 6 seconds long, and I think they are the perfect ads because
I'll never skip those.
You can't skip them.
It takes like that's what I'm saying. So it's like the ones that I hit skip ad on are the ones that are longer.
For creators as well.
Yeah.
They're short. If you stick them in the middle, no one really clicks off a 6-second advert. Like if you get a long 20-second advert, you might think I can click off and click back on. Maybe I'll get a shorter ad. But 6-second advert, you're kind of just like,
man,
I have to get through this.
I have a story about YouTube ads. I was driving back from Kentucky a couple weeks ago, and the guy that was co-piloting with me, we were listening to his phone on Bluetooth, and we were listening to a podcast that he was watching on YouTube because he was like watching because it's filmed.
Mid rolls.
And he fell asleep in the passenger seat, and I'm still listening to it. I'm like interested in what's going on, and all of a sudden this ad starts playing, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just not gonna do anything about it. Like, it'll be 30 seconds to go back, and it'd been 30 seconds. I was like, okay, it's not stopping, and I look over, and it's a 45-minute ad.
What?
45-minute ad for the U.S. Army.
Oh my god.
Did you listen to the whole thing? Are you joining?
No, I ended up just closing his phone and going to my phone because
I'm sorry, who watches a 45-minute ad?
No
Can
one.
you imagine the revenue that podcast would have got if someone sat through that entire 45-minute ad?
But that's what I'm talking about though. Is like
that's probably like
that's
a
ridiculous.
Full on, like $100 just straight into
if you don't
their
get
back
anything,
pocket.
Yeah, if you don't get anything because I hit skip ad after 30 seconds, like that's ridiculous. That's dumb. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's like I'm not gonna watch a 45-minute ad.
Yeah, but maybe that company is literally just like, if one person watches it through, that's what cost them 5,000. I don't know, because it costs or 5 million to put the ads on the platform. But I don't know. I don't really know. No.
Yeah, I mean, it was a touching ad.
There's definitely something. Like, if someone just skips an ad, you don't really make anything off it. You make more money
with
YouTube Premium anyway. But I don't have YouTube Premium. I want to get it though.
I don't know. Can you swing that $5 a month or whatever?
Is YouTube Premium the new YouTube Red?
Yeah.
Is it 10? I have no idea.
I think I can afford $10.
I know YouTube Red was 15, and that was way too much for
because
YouTube Red.
if you could just go to patreon.com/baconandeggs
and Spotify, Apple Music, because you can listen to music on it as well. And it also kind of works in a Netflix way, because I think you get films on there as well. And you get all the
for
YouTube
sure.
originals. So it's kind of like
talking
a Netflix, music, like Spotify and YouTube with no ads in one. If you can consider it Netflix. But there are a lot of YouTube original series I've seen, and I'm like, I want to watch that. Like Vsauce is one I really want to watch, but I just don't have the
YouTube Premium. Right. I will say it is about that time. We do need to be wrapping up, but I just want to keep talking to Seamus for forever.
Yeah, it's really sad. This is it. We hardly even spoke about Toy Story 3, which is just the greatest film of all time.
No, we spoke about Toy Story 3 for like over an hour.
We did. We really did. We spoke about a good bit about it. Yeah, more than you would think. But we learned yesterday, we didn't talk about Transformers at all, and yesterday was like our best release day since the Super Carlin Brothers shout out.
Oh wow, well done.
Yeah, so
I had my best release day of the year on a video after like a rough month. September's just a rough month on YouTube, and then then
the kids stop doing homework.
Then October comes around and it's like, it all gets better. Like I think the first video uploaded in October, it was about Nagini, and just putting Nagini in the title that week, anyone was gay. They were just handing out views to you.
Right. Yeah. That was an easy one.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke in my vlog that week. I was like, why don't they just make a trailer every week, man?
Right.
Theory confirmed.
But yeah, so I say it goes Toy Story 3, Toy Story 2, Toy Story.
I'm about that.
So that's the top 3 on your list, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and I'll give Lotso, Hug and Bear a 9.
I'm gonna give them a 9.5.
9.5. Okay. What do you have for a breakfast food, Seamus?
Cool. See, what is the
Shepherd's
perfect
pie,
breakfast?
bacon and egg.
Bacon, eggs, sausages, hash browns, a full English.
Seamus, you're missing the joke here.
Oh.
The perfect breakfast is bacon and eggs.
Yeah, I know that, but like,
okay.
I would say if there is, but like, can you go further than bacon and eggs? A full English. But like, no,
doesn't that
I would
involve
actually say Toy Story 3 is bacon and eggs. Yeah, but
so it like Empire Strikes Back is bacon and eggs.
It's better than Empire Strikes Back.
Well, let's just take a deep breath, Seamus.
And Infinity War.
You know what? We're not counting them in the same year. So it doesn't matter.
It does take the top spot for now.
I'm
guess,
gonna be so sad.
upon what we
Like
review.
week after, like a couple weeks after, just all the Toy Stories are gonna drop down. Like I'm coming back on this show to get a say.
Sunday brunch. Seamus redefends Toy Story.
I didn't have enough time to defend it. I only had 6 hours, and we spent most of it talking about like other stuff.
YouTube.
All right,
Football and,
listen
like,
here, you little Sorry, little.
You are a toy. Oh gosh, I love Toy Story. No, I mean we'd have to like Forrest Gump to like start getting into challenging territory. I feel like.
But what is Tom
Nope,
Hanks'
but
best
I can
role?
think of plenty
Let's
of
be
movies
real,
that are
guys.
better than these.
Tom Hanks' best role.
There are
Woody
plenty of movies.
or Forrest Gump.
Forrest
Hey,
Gump.
you can be
By, like, a
ridiculous,
lot.
but if you close your eyes, what do you hear? You
Forrest
hear
Gump.
Woody.
Forrest Gump. No.
I've been on a real big
If
boat.
you close your eyes and listen to Tom Hanks talk, you hear Woody.
Okay, yeah. If you listen to Tom
Because
Hanks talk, but
Forrest Gump was a
yeah,
character.
Forrest Gump was a character.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I don't hear Forrest Gump. I don't hear Carl Hanratty. You know.
Oh God,
I want to meet.
what a good character.
What's his name? Sorry, Tom Hanks. In the promotion for Toy Story 4, I got to meet Brad, but I want to meet Tom Hanks this year. I hope Disney can provide.
I think you're setting your sights a lot
Yeah, I
higher
am.
from Brad Bird
I think
to
you're gonna
Tom
want to say
Hanks.
that. You're gonna want to say that not on this podcast. I mean, like saying it on the podcast can't hurt, but I would definitely recommend like making a video titled "Nagini is something, anything." And then, like, before that video starts, being like, okay, before I get into this, dear Disney, I want to meet Tom Hanks.
Can you
I just
make
want to make
that
sure enough
happen?
people
Can I get
saw
a
this.
petition to make it happen? Like, what's it like? It takes 100,000 signatures to bring it to the UK Parliament. I have nearly 300,000 subscribers, so
Right, so that's nothing.
Yeah, but does that have to be the signatures of 300,000 or 100,000 English people?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But will anyone
gonna
really
say-
know?
I feel like if anybody's gonna check, it's gonna be the UK
Yeah,
Parliament.
probably. Also, what are they gonna do? It's gonna pop up and they're gonna just sweep it aside. Like,
We could submit it to the Funk Band Parliament, see if they can make it happen.
I could just tweet Tom Hanks, like, "Hey, at Tom Hanks, you wanna come
Can we
out?"
hang out?
Yeah, please.
I would like to meet you to promote Toy Story 4. And then he replies and he says, I'm not in it.
I would love it if he did reply, like, "Yeah, let's do it." He isn't one of those social media like people though, is he? He's not that active.
He's not James Gunn.
Yeah.
When James Gunn was active on social media, he was super
I
good
just,
about talking to
I
fans.
just love people who like, reply to all their fans and stuff. But no. I feel like I always think it's an age gap, but it isn't necessarily. Like Daniel Radcliffe basically has no social media, and it's like, why? You're like in your 20s.
Oh, it's because he doesn't want to answer questions about Harry.
Is it genuine? He just doesn't like it, does he?
No, he
Yeah.
hates it.
Like,
All right. Well, so that we can get to Parliament, Seamus, I'm gonna at Bootsy Collins for you.
Oh no, I
And-
100% get that on the topic of Daniel Radcliffe hating questions about Harry Potter, because like that must be his life. Like I feel like I get fed up with getting too many stupid questions about Harry Potter. And it's like it's not even as if he'd know someone. He's a person portraying the character. Like
Right, it's not like he knows anything. Like he's not gonna reprise the role or
Yeah.
anything. Like he's done, you know.
I completely get that, to be honest.
Until they make
he didn't
Cursed
realize
Child the
how
movie.
much. He didn't realize how much he was going to get typecasted, did he? I guess he isn't typecasted.
I don't think he was. Like he does a really good job playing. He does play a villain magician in Now You See Me Too.
But I think the problem is you see him and you think Harry Potter, and
Yeah.
that's what and the fandom just is so big, and it's just you can't get rid of them.
They're big and aggressive. Yeah.
No, I completely get
But,
that. It's the same with Josh Randa, who plays Ted in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, he was in another show, and it was like
It's just like no one takes him seriously outside of it. Basically, like, and he's made
Have you met Ted?
he's made like in interviews stated that he just doesn't like the show because it's just no one takes him seriously about it anymore. And, like literally, when you go on his Twitter, he will say he'll tweet a generic tweet like something like "I'm stuck in Cleveland for the week" or something, and it will be turned into a How I Met Your Mother reference. Like
That's
it
an
is
easy one.
one.
His parents
His
live
parents live in
Ohio.
Ohio. He lives in the moment.
So it's like it's fully like just anything he touches, it just people make How I Met Your Mother reference, and I'm like, I kind of feel sorry for you. Like if you genuinely, like, it would get you sick of it. And it's same with Chris Evans. Like he tweets stuff about like Donald Trump like every day, and all the replies are just Chris Evans,
Yeah.
just Captain America.
But it's got to be tough for Captain America to talk about government,
Yeah.
like, because that's you're not just Captain America. But either way, we really do need to wrap up. We've gotta get going.
So I think this is Bacon and Eggs.
Okay, I can jive with that. Makes me laugh, makes me cry. You can throw some onions in there.
Why does bacon make you cry?
Onions make me cry.
No, pre-onions. You said it makes you cry.
No, he said it makes me laugh,
yeah.
makes me cry. You can throw some onions in there as like that's what's gonna make him. That's why I heard it.
Right, that's
yeah.
the justification for me crying.
I think a full English breakfast even.
I mean, I'll take whatever you say.
Bacon and eggs, in my opinion, because you got more. Well, maybe you've got more than you bargained for with Toy Story 4.
Is it bacon and eggs and then whatever you are?
Okay. So,
Does that make sense? So like you are a full English breakfast. And this is Seamus at its core.
I like that.
Or are you a full Irish breakfast? Because your
Full
name
Irish
is
breakfast and
Seamus.
full English breakfasts aren't very different.
Yeah, but your name
It
is Seamus.
But do I sound Irish at all?
I don't know. What do Irish
Seamus
sound like?
Finnegan.
Can you do an Irish accent? Can you read the Mewtwo thing as an Irish person?
I can't do an Irish accent. What do they say? Like, top of the morning, laddies. I don't know. My name is Jacksepticeye.
Top of the morning. Just do like the Jacksepticeye thing. Do you know him? Can you get him on the show?
On this show, I don't. He tweeted me the other day. Did you know that?
That's
I did
fun.
not.
I thought wait, I mentioned this in my vlog.
Did you?
I did. He what happened? He was kind of like oh yeah, he tweeted something about his name. His real name's not Jack, it's Sean.
Yeah, Sean McLaughlin.
Okay, well you did
That's
know
Irish.
that.
He was just on Good Mythical Morning,
well he tweeted
and
something.
he and Rhett have the same last name.
Oh, well, wait, if I can find the tweet, I think I can find it. He basically said, like, if I can find it, wait, one sec. It'll only be a second, don't worry. When did this happen? I don't...
See, when I think of Irish people, I can only think of Roy from the IT Crowd and Conor McGregor.
Oh, yeah. He loses every one of his fights, though. I don't get how...
Well, because for a long time he didn't lose.
Yeah.
It was the same thing with Ronda Rousey. It's like she was a huge deal because she was undefeated forever, and then she got whooped.
Now she's in the WWE making buku money.
If I can find this, which I don't think I can. Well,
Hello,
anyway,
IT, have you tried turning it on and off again?
he tweeted, like, saying that because he went for a breakup recently, didn't he? That's why his name... I'm trying to search up his name, and it's hard to find any tweets relating to him that aren't about the breakup. Well, he tweeted out saying, like... that he got a pizza delivery with his name, because of course his name's Sean, and that oh, here we go, I found it. So he tweeted, food delivery, are you seen? And he said, yeah, Sean. And then the delivery guy said, seen? And then he's like, yeah, seen. And then the delivery guy was like, oh yes, seen, here you go. And then I replied saying, imagine having an Irish name starting with SEA and everyone always assumes it's pronounced with SEE. I'd be fuming.
Because your name's Seamus.
And then he replied saying, I'd love to see how they tackle the name MEADBH, which is pronounced Maeve, I think. But, and then someone...
No, I wouldn't have
And
any
then someone
idea.
replied saying, I'd just say mead and then go out for a drink.
Oh man, if you're a real life human being that tells me you drink mead and you're an American, I don't believe it. You're the worst person.
Well, either way, he replied, and yeah, I don't know. No. I want to know Jack's films,
Well-
but he doesn't follow me.
My brain cannot comprehend that they're not the same person.
What?
The Jacksepticeye
They're very
and
different.
Jack's films are not the same person.
They're very different.
My brain will not process that. Every time I see Jack's films, I'm like, that's Jacksepticeye. It's his other Twitter, and it's just not.
Right, it's a totally different person.
It's a totally different person. My brain's just like, nope.
Jack's films is one of my favorite YouTubers.
I know
Hilarious.
absolutely nothing about that person,
He's hilarious.
other than the fact that I think he's Jacksepticeye.
Well, he's
except
tweeted
more
me a few
bald.
times. Yeah, he's balding, but not bald. Like he still has a head. He's got a big forehead.
Yes, we really need to wrap up.
Yeah, I think we've done the food.
Yes,
what else
we just
did-
got to
what-
say goodbye.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, that's all we got to do left. Seamus, do you have any last thoughts? Thank you for coming on the show for 3 episodes in a
I
row.
know. This has been 3 days in a row for anyone who's
Yeah.
like we've fully just gone all out. Like,
This is 3 days in a row in the middle of October.
yeah. So, final thoughts. Toy Story is the best film trilogy of all time, and those are my final thoughts.
Fair enough. Have fun in Northern Ireland.
Thank you. Do you guys have any final thoughts?
I don't. I really enjoyed
Yeah,
this.
this was a lot of
3
fun.
days
It's been
though.
fun.
I love how short they are.
Yeah, how have these days just gone by so quickly?
Yes.
Yeah, they have.
Like, I feel like it was only yesterday we were talking about Toy Story 2.
We were.
It was a week ago.
That was the joke.
Yeah. We record these and release them live. Doesn't everybody know that?
I would love it if you recorded it
Okay,
live.
okay.
We
But they-
speak absolutely perfectly every time.
Yeah, I would love it if you did one live. I think it'd be very funny because you'd have to like be very careful
worth a
about what
shot.
you say.
Well, I mean, we'll record the live shows once we do them.
Yeah, I would tune into a live one more often.
Interesting.
I don't know,
Good to know.
just like the,
Well, I'm I'm ready. Ethan, do the sign.
Okay, this has been another great episode of Bacon and Eggs, and Seamus, thank you again, Seamus, for coming on. He is on the internet at Seamus Gorman 4 on Instagram and at Gorman Seamus on Twitter, and if you want to know the link for his YouTube, go listen to the last episode, because I'm not saying it again.
I'm impressed you get it right, the right way around every time. I wish I just had, I wish I had at Seamus Gorman. Like, it would make things so much easier. But then all of this, like, promotion I've done on my social medias up until now is just gonna be like, that's not it anymore.
You know what would make things easier? If I had my name in my at least somewhere.
Yeah.
At least one of my names.
Wow now.
Yeah.
With
I
zero.
can change it, though. I am no longer bound by the rules
really?
of the bet. Yeah.
Oh, there was a bet?
Yeah, it was a bet that I had to leave it like that for a year.
From who?
Somebody in my band.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Now.
It was like, what are the odds you'll make your at that and leave it that for a year? And I lost.
Well,
Yep.
You're not bound anymore. You can make it Ethan.
It's been over a year. I could change it, but it's part of the thing now. It's
What
been
you
written
could
in.
do, what I would do if I was creating a second one is keep the current app and make it a new account and set it to and then just make the bio on that account, new account, follow this. Then anyone who tracks down that account will just go follow your new one.
Not a bad idea.
That's what Vegard did when he changed his name from Wise Hufflepuff to Vegard.
So he kept his main account, but changed the name and then made a new account for the old name.
Well, he switched them so he had his followers on
Yeah.
the name, but yeah.
Yeah.
So if you look up at Wise Hufflepuff, it will just say go follow it.
That's not a terrible idea.
I think that's what Zoella did as well when she changed from like Zoe Boo to Zoella.
Well, Tyler's at AmeriCarlin on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Wow Now, but the O's are zeros on Instagram and Twitter. And no, I'm not going to make my at Wow Now, but the O's are zeros. I've had people ask me that.
I would love that.
They're like, you should change it to that. And I'm like, that's not too long for Instagram, but it is too long for Twitter.
Is it? You've tried.
Well, no, I know that because reasons. Anyway, this has been Bacon and Eggs. If you want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/baconandeggs. Help the show out. Get part of our Discord server. If you want to get merch, you can go to teespring.com/store/baconandeggs. You can get merch. We have lots of stuff there. And we also have some hats there at our big cartel because we actually have them. And I think that's it. Our graphics are designed by Vaishon Brandon at Graphite, and our music is by Citrix. Thank you for listening to another episode of Bacon and Eggs. I've been Ethan Etchell. He's been Tyler Carlin. He's been Seamus Gorman. And until next week, arrivederci.
I, un amigo, and me.